His biggest microphone. Here's Jason DeRUSH.
Should parents let young kids be interviewed? Welcome to Drive Time. It's Jason. Laura with the news. Dan is here. This morning I woke up to see CBS News in Minneapolis and the story that really in many ways became the visual, the image of the ICE surge in Minneapolis. It was that little 5-year-old Liam Ramos. And he was taken into custody a little more than 2 months ago. And the photo and the dispute and the discussion really, I think, encapsulated the different emotions that people had about immigration enforcement in general, right? When you see that little kid with like that blue hat with like the little like bunny ears on it. And you see this kid taken away, and whatever the circumstance was, the emotion of that was like, is this the worst of the worst? Is this is what we've sent 3,000 people to Minnesota for? I think a lot of people just saw it and said it was too much. And so the news media does what the news media is going to do, and I know this because this used to be my job. Try to get an interview with this guy's parents and try to talk to the kid. There have been times in my career that I opted not to. The night of the 35W bridge collapse, when a bus full of fourth grade students, they were all about 10, many not speaking English, but they were on that school bus when the bridge collapsed. And that bus was on that incline, and there was the truck right in front of it that was on fire and all of that. And at one point in the night in front of me, all of the kids were released from the American Red Cross right by the Mississippi River. And other reporters were running up to them, chasing them down, and I said no. And in fact, a colleague of mine was screaming at me that the story was those kids, go get the interview. And I just thought, hours after you were afraid that you're going to die on a school bus, it wouldn't sit right for me to go chase those kids down. So I said no. Plus, what's a 10-year-old kid got to tell you that's going to be so earth-shattering that nobody else had thought about? You know, come on. Just didn't seem worth it to me. And so this morning, I don't know, when I first heard this, it didn't even quite click that like, is this all right? Until Dan mentioned it this afternoon. It's like, I felt a little, well, listen to a little bit of it. I don't want to overdo it because I don't want to undermine my point that there's something a little wrong about putting a 5-year-old on network news. Here's a little bit of that CBS interview this morning with 5-year-old Minneapolis kid. The interview done right on the rooftop at Channel 4, Liam Ramos.
Liam Conejo Ramos is in many ways just like any other 5-year-old boy.
La pizza.
You like pizza, okay? ¿Qué tipo de pizza? What type of pizza do you like?
Pepperoni.
Pepperoni. But what he doesn't yet understand is that his story is at the center of America's polarizing immigration debate.
And so, do you guys want to see this? Do you think this adds much to what was going on there? I mean, I guess you want to hear from this, but like when you see the thing on the screen where it's like CBS News talks to 5-year-old detained by ICE, I don't know. Like, what do you want to hear? And all we really got from him was that he's afraid of immigration. He's 5. 651-461-9226. Would you let your kid talk to the media? It's a question that we think about not just in this circumstance, but Dan, after every sort of horrible story that you see that involves kids, in the Annunciation School shooting was probably the most challenging one, I think. But it always feels a little skeezy. I don't know what the age cutoff is. For me, I think like 10, 4th grade is about the line. But I don't know. It's
I don't either, but
it's awkward. It's uncomfortable.
I know that when I saw this story this morning, my first just gut reaction was, oh, that's kind of gross. And why are we letting a 5-year-old talk to the media anyway, given what that poor kid's been through? And to be fair, I thought much of the same thing. And I hate, I don't want to be critical of anybody in Annunciation for the decisions that they made. All I know is that just my gut reaction when that happened is I can't imagine being in those parents' shoes, full stop. But if you're going to try to then try to figure out why you would think it would be a good idea to put these kids who had just been through this trauma in front of cameras, escaped me. It just did.
Yeah.
And again, it's like you said, it's kind of a weird thing for us to sit here in the media and say, you don't talk to the media, but it feels mildly exploitative to me. Because there's no way the kids can process what they've just been through or what it means to put themselves on video, which is going to live on the internet for the rest of their lives.
I could see more of a case for hearing from kids who are inside that church, because hearing that firsthand reaction and that firsthand account and seeing the fear and seeing the horror, to me, is a more helpful way of actually communicating just how horrifying gun violence can be. I mean, at least in that circumstance, a firsthand account is, I don't know, the shock value maybe is something worthwhile. And that's what one of our texters is saying, that we need more stories like that of Liam, because it humanizes the damage done by capturing children. Yeah, I mean, that is sort of the case I make for why I think in the Annunciation case, hearing from those kids, it's different when you hear kids talking about what it's like to hear the gunshots ringing out and be, covering up your fellow classmates, hearing stories of 7th graders, like trying to shield 3rd graders. I mean, to me, that there's a bigger societal benefit to that. Maybe the texter's right that the skeeziness, the uncomfortableness is worth it because it makes you think about sort of this immigration surge in a way of how it affects a human. I don't know. I think about, obviously, like as somebody who worked in the media, like I've talked to my kids about if they, and everyone in my family knows that like I've knocked on enough doors trying to get people to talk to me, that if the media knocks on their door, they should be leaning towards cooperating. Jonathan in Minneapolis is at 651-461-9226. I don't know, Jonathan. There's something just a little uncomfortable about a 5-year-old kid who went through that sort of horrifying, life-changing experience and then doing an interview with him. I don't know.
I think the discomfort is the point, and I appreciate your concern. We don't want every night we tune into the radio or the news to see children commenting on big societal issues. Maybe they don't understand. But I think the point is that he does understand the big picture, which is that he's going to be deported, and a judge recently ruled as such. So I appreciate, big picture. No, I don't want to tune in the news to hear 5-year-olds every night, but I think given the circumstances, it's appropriate. And given how supporters of ICE are characterizing the people who are being deported, Liam's story is especially important. So thanks.
Yeah. Thank you, Jonathan. Appreciate it. Lots of texts coming in as well.
I get the big picture idea. I understand what they're saying. I think you could have done this story with mom and dad talking about Liam without having to have Liam there. Or even if he's there, but he's not, you know what I'm saying? That's a part of it. There is a big picture benefit I get with that argument. And my first instinct is to protect the kid. That to me, that comes before anything else.
Yeah.
And
maybe the other side in this scenario is that really protecting the kid is keeping him from being deported, and the emotional appeal of seeing that sweet little 5-year-old who loves pepperoni on his pizza is maybe enough to get people to wake up. I don't know. 651-461-9226. I'll share some of your texts. Your calls welcome as well. This is one of those where my opinion, because of my career and the fact that I was a journalist for a long time, it's mixed. So sway me one way or the other. 651-461-9226. Drive time on a Monday.
Drive Time with DeRUSH is fueled by Luther Kia of Bloomington. Go see Dan Dingman and the crew today, or always online at lutherkiaofbloomington.com.
Well, the spring is here, and spring fashion, it is go time. Have you freshened up your wardrobe? Would you even know where to begin? It's Jason here for my friends at J.H. & Sons at the Galleria in Edina. They'd love for you to join their mailing list at their website at jhandsons.com. This family story is so outstanding. The Halberstadt family started in St. Cloud. Maybe you got your first suit at Halberstadt's in St. Cloud back in the day. Now it's Jeff Halberstadt and his sons running this business that is premium men's clothing all over the Midwest. Their store at the Galleria in Edina is beautiful, absolutely beautiful. And yes, it still should be your first stop if you've got a wedding upcoming, if you have a gala or an event, or maybe you have a new job and it's time to suit up. Get to J.H. & Sons at the Galleria. But right now, I'm so excited by the casual clothes, some of the new brands they have, beautiful Italian linen, Italian polo shirts. The polos are beautiful. If you're still buying a golf shirt and not going to the golf course, get to J.H. & Sons. They'll help you out with different textures like the sweater polos that are so cool right now in all of the hot colors. J.H. & Sons at the Galleria.
At Wealth Enhancement, we believe wealth is in the details. Our team of trusted advisors craft personalized solutions to help you achieve your financial goals. Tune in to the Your Money Show on Newstalk 830 WCCO every Sunday from 8 to 9 a.m. or go to wealthenhancement.com to connect with one of our advisors.
I'm back to doing what I love and more, thanks to the Good Feet store.
Don't suffer through foot pain, sore ankles, tired legs, aching back and hips, or sore knees. Call the Good Feet store. The Good Feet Arch Support System is designed to relieve pain and stress in the body with over 350 styles and sizes. Located in Maple Grove, Burnsville, Woodbury, and Roseville. Call 855-554-3338 or stop in for your complimentary fitting. In as little as 40 minutes, you could be walking out pain-free.
Thanks to the Good Feet store.
It's true. Taking a cash offer for your home is the easiest way to sell it, let's face it. But why would you want to leave tens of thousands of dollars on the table? When you hired the John Schuster Group Coldwell Banker Realty, you can still sell your home fast without sacrificing any money. Sandy just worked with the Good Neighbor agent. She was moving out of state. She called John for a cash offer. He told her he'd be happy to make her one, but that he could sell her home for way more on the open market. The Schuster Group's marketing system reaches thousands of potential home buyers every day. It only took John 3 days to find her a buyer willing to pay $10,000 over asking price. That's tens of thousands more than she'd have gotten with a cash offer. John's marketing system made a huge difference. You can learn what your home is worth in seconds on johnschustergroup.com.
Buy a home, sell a home, we'll get you moving. johnschustergroup.com.
Terms and conditions may apply.
This is the story of the one. As a procurement manager for a hospital system, she keeps every facility in her network stocked and ready. That's why she counts on Grainger to be her single source for thousands of products, from disinfectants to lighting, air filters, and more. And with fast, dependable delivery, Grainger helps her keep every facility stocked, safe, and running smoothly. Call 1-800-GRAINGER, click Grainger.com, or just stop by. Grainger, for the ones who get it done.
There's a difference between liking a house and actually getting it. Redfin is built to make up that difference and close the gap between finding and owning the home for you. Redfin agents close twice as many deals as other agents, so when you find a home you love, you're not a step behind when it's time to make an offer. That means less watching great homes disappear and more focus on the ones you'll actually move into and call home. Redfin helps turn saved listings into real addresses. Get started at redfin.com. Own the dream.
You're listening to Drive Time with DeRUSH.
I think once you lose DeRUSH, you've lost the country. A lot of people say that.
On News Talk 830 WCCO.
We'll make a premium high octane if it had wings to be a plane. We're gonna take her out and fly tonight.
Lots of strong opinions on the text line at 651-461-9226. We're talking about interviews with kids. Because today is that interview with 5-year-old Liam on CBS News. In a couple minutes, we are going to talk about the president and his very, very strange day. Have you ever heard someone talking about blowing a country to smithereens flanked by an Easter bunny? You have not, but today we did. So we'll talk about that coming up in a couple of minutes. Texters. Interviews with kids are disgusting, says a 952er. I turn the channel immediately. 1, the kids can't properly explain what's going on at all. 2, the interviews are just painful to listen to. Absolutely no way this should be done. It should be illegal. Another texter, if we don't have the opportunity to see and hear all the disgusting events that happen in our world, we're sticking our heads in the sand. Yeah. I get that side of it too. I suppose for me, the fundamental question that I always ask if it's worthwhile to interview a kid is in a hard news situation, right? Like I'm not talking about the kid who won the chess tournament or the kid basketball player, the kid business, the lemonade stand that became a company. No. We're talking about when something sort of traumatic happened. The new part of the story involving the Ramoses, at least the new part for the nation, was hearing from the parents because the judge threw out their asylum petition. So they are likely to be deported. Now, in my view, many of the people, perhaps most of the people who are here in the United States under an asylum petition are here on a wing and a prayer. That in most circumstances, yes, your life situation back home is not as good as it is here. I get that. But the idea of asylum to me was to escape war, escape, an intense political persecution. It was not to escape poverty or escape local crime. That's not, if the United States wants to open up to that, that is not asylum to me. That is immigration. That is why people came to this country under almost all the circumstances when people from other countries came here. More opportunity, more safety, a better life. That is not asylum. That is immigration. So hearing from a 5-year-old does not change, doesn't move the needle on that at all, but I do understand why there would be national interest. I will say this, I shouldn't say I'm surprised, but there are a lot of you who think that some of the gruesome details of what happened during the ice surge in Minnesota, you think there's a concerted effort to, and this is what the text says, my guess would be there's a concerted effort to make sure at regular intervals things will be in the news to remind everybody about the ice thing as we go all the way to the midterms. I don't know. I just think it's newsworthy, right? You're like, this family was the main focus of besides, of course, the killings of 2 citizens by federal agents. But this kid was the story. Now, the other ICE story today is, surprise, surprise, the federal government lied about the Venezuelan immigrant who they said was, remember the brooms and the shovels? He was beating us with brooms and shovels, so we had to fire into the house as he was running in. From the beginning, it didn't make a ton of sense. Turned out there was video of the whole thing, and prosecutors just didn't watch it. So not only was the narrative false, prosecutors should have withdrawn the charges, but they didn't even look at the video. Howard's in Minneapolis on the CCO Talk and Text line. Howard, how do you feel about those interviews of children?
We signed a convention, a Geneva Convention, that protects asylum seekers. I took issue with President Biden when he put a cap on the asylums coming through our borders. If we sign a treaty and it's ratified by the senators, the president has to follow the treaties we've signed. And so that 5-year-old in Columbia Heights, to me, is like the St. Louis all over again. It's so tragic that this racism is returning to us, this idol of tribe. Every human being is created in the image of God, and that's where Catholic social teaching on immigration is the Bible. What Trump is doing and what his minions are doing is not biblical.
Do you think the treaty, which the Geneva Convention we signed, as you said, it prohibits returning refugees back to a situation of persecution, but you do have to prove that you have a well-founded fear of persecution. And so I don't think it says we have to take
immigration courts are underneath the executive.
So you don't trust you don't trust the courts to fairly adjudicate whether or not someone has a legitimate claim to asylum or not?
Not when it's under the Trump administration. Our immigration court should be separate from the White House.
Yeah, I agree with that 100%. Thanks, Howard. I do agree with that. It's an interesting question, right? Like trying to define what exactly it means to be, a well-founded fear of persecution it's a tricky line. It's a tricky line. Jennifer in Stillwater on CCO. Go ahead, Jennifer.
Hi, Jason. Thanks for squeezing me in.
For sure.
I was just going to say that right now there's upwards of 20,000 American expats that live in Ecuador. It's, like 10,000 of them are living in Cuenca.
Right.
And so, like you nailed it. It's economic refugees, which is different than, people fleeing for their lives.
Yeah. Yeah, that's what I think. I mean, what so many Minnesotans did in settling, the Hmong refugees, I think that is in line with, with what we're talking about. Even, today you can look at the number of Somali refugees, and certainly it's a hot flashpoint. But I think the situation in Somalia at the time when we had that mass wave of Somali refugees, I think you say that wasn't just economic. That was people running for their lives. That's sort of the visual that I have of what an asylum seeker is. And I do think it's just been, I think it's been abused, and people are here hoping for the best, but knowing realistically they're probably not going to have their petition granted.
Exactly. Yeah. Poppy Bush originally was trying to feed the Somalis. They were starving to death, so they definitely had severe problems over there. They had famine. So
exactly.
They had a claim.
And it made sense. Thanks, Jennifer. Appreciate it. That this issue of asylum. Now, again, you're probably not looking for the 5-year-old's insight on that, right? But I think that's a massive issue. It's a massive issue for sure. 3:32, we're going to break in a minute. I do want to talk about President Trump's Easter truth, his post on Truth Social. Do you like the wartime tough talk? We're going to bomb the crap, profanity-laced talking president. 651-461-9226. I've got thoughts. You do too, I'm sure, on Drive Time.
This is Drive Time with DeRUSH on News Talk 830 WCCO.
How are you ready for the spring? And your lawn, is it ready for the spring? It's Jason here. And we had a little egg hunt at the DeRUSH house. Nephew's out hunting for eggs this weekend. And it's a little mushy. We weren't going to go. I went outside and I thought about putting those Easter eggs in the lawn and saw how brown it is and thought, man, in just a couple of weeks, Pro Turf is going to have it looking awesome. It's Jason here for Professional Turf. 40 plus years, Twin Cities business. These guys are the best. I mean, imagine having someone come to take care of your lawn. Maybe you do 5 treatments. That's what I do every spring. Have that same person be taking care of you for more than 20 years. I think they have at least 2 technicians who've been servicing that same route for more than 20 years. Pretty cool. What I love about Pro Turf is that they do things the old-fashioned way. When you reach out at 952-469-8680, Pro Turf is going to send someone to your house. They will survey your yard, look for the shady spots, look for the problem areas. They will design a liquid and granular solution that works just for your yard. Scientifically proven. They're going to take care of the weeds. They're going to make the lawn look awesome. They did it for me. It looks epic. And then maybe you need a fire pit, or maybe you need a new patio or a new paver driveway. Unbelievable certified landscape providers that can take care of you there too. Sprinkler system. Yep. All of it. They're professionals. ProfessionalTurf.com. It's Pro Turf. 952-469-8680. Tell them Jason sent you.
I see something happening soon.
Oh, well, that's helpful.
Markets are headed up. No, down. Wait, maybe flat?
I don't know. I mean, you're the financial analyst.
In 1 mile, turn left. Recalculating. Make a U-turn.
What?
Recalculating.
I think you're in pretty good health. I don't see anything to worry about unless, something happens.
Well, what is that supposed to mean?
Nobody has a crystal ball, but when the headlines and stories keep changing, we help make sense of what's happening now and walk you through the scenarios that could be next. News Talk 830 WCCO.
Time now for today's Spotlight on Tech, sponsored by Ethos.
Research firm Omdia reports that the global semiconductor market topped $830 billion in sales in 2025, the second straight year of 20% growth thanks to AI-driven demand for memory chips and storage. NVIDIA led all companies with $150 billion in revenue, up 54% from a year earlier, followed by South Korean firms Samsung and SK Hynix. I'm Jason Brooks.
My name is... He was gone. Thankfully, he had life insurance. Ethos made it so easy. You can get a quote in seconds, apply in minutes, and get same-day coverage. 100% online, no medical exam. Life insurance didn't take away the loss, but it did give us the space to just grieve.
Get your free quote at ethos.com/protect. Ethos.com/protect. Paid spokesperson. Time spent on application may vary. Online health questions required.
Hey, you! Yeah, I'm talking to you! We got a show and it's Guys and Dolls at Chanhassen and Dinner Theaters. It's terrific and delicious because you got dinner and a show. Don't take my word, everybody's loving it. The Pioneer Press called it a must-see. Star Tribune called it eye-popping and blazing with brilliance. I heard a lady from Eden Prairie say this is the best show she's ever seen at the Chan. Grab your doll or your guy. Get your family over here for Guys and Dolls. Visit ChanHassenDT.com.
Batteries Plus presents Power Ballads.
If you run a business in any industry, the last thing you need is some dead batteries. We got them in stock, and we're local too. We dream about batteries more than most people do. Batteries Plus, there's no problem too large. Batteries Plus, we're the experts in charge.
Hi, this is Congresswoman Ilhan Omar. Since taking office, I have delivered more than $65 million in investments back to our district. I'm also fighting to hold ICE agents accountable in Minneapolis. First and foremost, my office is here to help you. If you need to resolve issues with your Social Security or veteran benefits, please reach out to my team at omar.house.gov. When Washington isn't working for you, I will.
Paid for by official funds authorized by the House of
Mark your
Representatives.
calendar, one day only. 18th. It's the 10th sale at By the Yard in Jordan. Score 20 to 50% off display sale items. Premium, maintenance-free furniture at unbeatable prices. Everything is ready to go. Take it home the same day and save big. But it's one day and one day only, so don't miss out. Join us April 18th in Jordan. By the Yard. Life is better outdoors.
Time to find out how it's moving on the roads and what's moving in via the skies. This is traffic and weather together on CCO, starting with a check of the commute.
Brought to you by Lindus Construction, lindusconstruction.com. North 100 is make way toward 50th Street. Stall off to the right side, helping to slow things down as you come up from Highway 62. East 494 is jammed up as you make the run between France Avenue and Cedar Avenue, traveling 494 northbound. That's heavy. Rockford Road, heading up to the Fish Lake interchange. Get ready for the season ahead with clog-free Leaf Guard brand gutters now with free installation labor this April. Go to lindusconstruction.com. Joey Peterson, New Talk 830 WCCO.
It is barbecue season in Minnesota. That means Minnesota pork. Pig farmers in our state care so much about the environment, their animals, and their communities. Get the best protein around for the best farmers around. Minnesota pork. Oh, yeah.
Now, the latest conditions and the outlook for the next few days with your CCO forecast.
Forecast brought to you by Minnesota Pork Board. Taste what pork can do. Here's our friend Chris Schaefer.
High pressure is moving in. That'll keep the sky clear tonight, but we're going to chill out, falling back to 21 by tomorrow morning. Wind will be light. That will pick up throughout the day tomorrow, and the clouds will increase as well. Should have a high of 46 tomorrow. Still below average. Rain showers pop late tomorrow night. That spills into a warm Wednesday with a high up near 60.
41 degrees in St. Paul here on CCO.
Your daily detour into sharper conversation. Drive Time with DeRUSH on News Talk 830 WCCO.
Easter morning. He is risen. And it's 7:03 in the morning. Everybody's favorite president, Donald Trump, went on Truth Social and said, Tuesday will be Power Plant Day and Bridge Day all wrapped up in one in Iran. There will be nothing like it. Open the effing straight, you crazy bastards, or you'll be living in hell. Just watch. Praise be to Allah, President Donald J. Trump. Now, this station won't let me say the effing word because I sort of think we should say the word. Just so you realize how insane of a message this is from the President of the United States. You know, a lot of us, you wake up and maybe you get like a little notification. Today is National Bagel Day. Like make some sort of post about National Bagel Day. Or today is Halloween. Make some sort of post about Halloween. The president woke up on Easter and said, open the effing straight, you crazy bastards. I maybe am too willing to give Donald Trump the benefit of the doubt. Like today he's getting roasted because he was sitting around, and we'll play this for you in a couple of minutes. He's at the egg roll at the White House.
Classic White House tradition.
It's never been done like this before. So, you know, we got the egg roll, and there's the president sitting with a bunch of kids. And it's fine, right? You're like, sure. So he's telling these kids, he's telling the kids, like, I should autograph these things. You could take it on eBay. All right, play it now. Fine. So he's looking at the kid's artwork and he's saying he's gonna sign it and they could make $25,000 on eBay. Which you're like, all right, that's funny.
Would use the auto pen. He'd have an auto pen problem in a job, but he didn't sign. He was incapable of signing, he said. So they follow him around with a big machine, you know what it's called? An auto pen. And he'd have the auto pen signed for it. He'd take the paper, hand it to his guys.
He's doing auto pen material in front of 5 to 10-year-old children. Now, I'm not even mad about it. Like, it's kind of funny. That's fine, right? Like, Dan's less tolerant. I'm sure
I get what you're saying. It's
like
it's absurd on its face.
That's right.
And relatively harmless.
That's fine.
Given some of the other things the man said.
The autograph bit was funny. You're like, oh, I'm going to sign this. You could go sell it on eBay for $25,000. That's fine. Look, I'm not here to comedy police people. Now, Cook, you're rolling your eyes. I know you're the king of comedy, but like,
no, not at all.
I think
I claim no such title whatsoever.
I think that's whatever. You characterized it well. Harmless.
Yeah.
Stupid. So what? If you freak out at everything, then you lose all credibility, I think, when you freak out about the things that matter.
Well, that's just it.
So, like, I think that bit is funny
because the trouble is, you're right. If you can't, there's so much that comes out of that White House. It's like a fire hose of what did he just say?
Right.
That you can't freak out at everything because A, you would exhaust yourself, and B, like you said, it becomes incredulous after a point. And if you do just freak out at the major stuff, there's still plenty of that.
Yeah, you got to show.
But then you get accused of, TDS, right? Trump derangement, because all your well, the guy's saying stuff all the time. And, again, in our situation, it's the job to react to it. But even in general, if you're just reacting to it, I mean, how little do you have to react to before you don't have TDS? I fully woke up on Sunday expecting his usual holiday message.
Right. The haters.
Happy Easter to everybody. Yes, even. And then he lists off the enemies
news.
And rips all the enemies.
That's a good bit.
It's a bit. This was next level, what he did this Easter.
I think that's right. And so I play the kid bit as a contrast to the fact that when the president of the United States, all right, can I confess?
You gonna do this? Really?
So if you are at war with another country, who are we kidding? So the president said that he's going to bomb them back to the Stone Ages.
Where they belong.
He called them.
That's a key part of that quote.
Crazy bastards. They'll be living in hell. Now, he had to throw in a little bit of anti-Muslim racism, praise be to Allah, with a little sarcastic. Like, this is the part of this that even if I allow myself to go down the road of saying, you know what, I'm not mad about a president who's saying we're going to kick the other guy's behind. I'm not. We're bombing them. I'm supposed to feel better if the president sort of Nancy dances around it and is like, oh, we really respect you guys. Like, no, we're trying to bomb the living daylights out of it. He's just saying it. And then open the effing straight, you crazy bat. Like, really? It's it's the part where it's like he gives his fan base enough to grab onto to say like, hey, he's just straight talking. And then he gives the wackos in his fan base a little bit to chew on. That's right, those crazy bastards. Bunch of Allah-loving Muslims on Easter. Early on, I've never said like, oh, like I don't tell you I'm going to vote for this guy or vote for this person or whatever. I do lament the fact that we have decided that we don't care about the morality of the human being running for office, because all of these antics, which I find embarrassing as an American, it's utterly predictable. It's in line with the character of the human being. Cheering for people's deaths, his political enemies here in the U.S. It's just, I don't know. Do we care about the morality, or do we only care about the morality of our opponents? It seems that that's the bargain that most Americans have made. We care about morality, but only of the other guys. My guy, just straight talk. The path this goes down is not good. Welcome to disagree with me if you wish. I'm probably going to ignore it. 651-461-9226. Drive time back in just a minute.
This is Drive Time with DeRUSH on News Talk 830 WCCO.
I was at the Livia Weight Control Centers today in Woodbury. And let me tell you, that is a beautiful facility. It's Jason here for my friends at Livia Weight Control Center. And this time of year is such a great time to jump in and experience the difference that Livia can make in your life. It is unbelievable. The people at Livia, for me, that's the game changer. Because you can get a prescription for GLP-1s, but can you get top to bottom support, counseling, nutrition? Join Livia today. GLP-1s are starting at just $99. Nutrition programs start at just $19 a week. So they make it simple. They make it affordable. They design it to fit your life. The goal here, and I was talking with one of the Livia medical team members about this today, the goal is to make you feel better, to let you live longer, to give you more energy, and to actually enjoy the journey of getting there. I enjoyed it, and believe me, I enjoy being 45 pounds lighter than I was when I started with Livia 4 years ago. Keeping that weight off, that's what it's about. 855-GO-LIVIA. Or go to the website, visit Livia, LIVEA.com today.
Want to make the most of your tax refund? File with TurboTax on Intuit Credit Karma. They help you get your biggest refund, and then we help you do more with it with a personalized plan designed to help you hit your money goals. Start filing today in the Credit Karma app.
I'm back to doing what I love and more, thanks to the Good Feet store.
When you're in pain, you need the Good Feet store. Don't waste another minute suffering from foot pain, sore ankles, tired legs, aching back and hips, or sore knees. Call the Good Feet store. You might feel the difference immediately.
I walked right into the Good Feet store and I tried the Good Feet Arch Support System, and my hip pain is gone.
The Good Feet Arch Support System is designed to put your foot in the most ideal position, redistributing the body weight more evenly, helping to relieve pain and stress in the body.
That nagging pain in my lower back, gone.
The Good Feet store has over 350 styles and sizes to relieve your pain.
I've always had bad knees. I've had 6 surgeries and I could never do a knee bend. Now I'm working out and it's just wonderful.
Located in Maple Grove, Burnsville, Woodbury, and Roseville. Call 855-554-3338 or stop in for your complimentary fitting. In as little as 40 minutes, you could be walking out pain-free.
Thanks to the Good Feet store.
At Uline, the prevailing opinion is, if you don't live it, you don't believe it. The people at Uline believe in hard work, and they live it by being there 24/7 to answer your call, having 41,000 items in stock, and offering same-day shipping from 12 locations across North America. Business owners, sellers, buyers, shippers, and packers believe it. Uline is the hard-working, dependable source for your shipping and industrial supplies. Visit uline.com.
There's a difference between liking a house and actually getting it. Redfin is built to make up that difference and close the gap between finding and owning the home for you. Redfin agents close twice as many deals as other agents, so when you find a home you love, you're not a step behind when it's time to make an offer. That means less watching great homes disappear and more focus on the ones you'll actually move into and call home. Redfin helps turn saved listings into real addresses. Get started at redfin.com. Own the dream.
Time to find out how it's moving on the roads and what's moving in via the skies. This is traffic and weather together on CCO, starting with a check of the commute.
It's all off the right side, north 100 as you make way toward 50th Street, and that's going to slow you down just a tad through that immediate stretch. South 35W slows across the Minnesota River Bridge to Highway 13. South 169 seeing some slowing 494 as you head down to Anderson Lakes Parkway. Jerry Peterson, News Talk 830 WCCO.
You sit on your deck and you're sick of looking at your crappy siding. Type JTR on your computer for roofing, siding, gutters, windows, and more. JTR Roofing has you covered from the roof on down, serving the Twin Cities Metro. For a free estimate, visit jtrroofinginc.com.
Now, the latest conditions and the outlook for the next few days with your CCO forecast.
All right, forecast for tonight, mainly clear. Going to be a little chilly over at Target Field for first pitch tonight. But a little bit of sunshine, I don't know, 40 degrees right now. Tomorrow, some clouds, some rain showers late, high of 46. We'll see about tomorrow's game. I'm raising the flag at tomorrow's game, by the way. How about that? Wednesday, high of 60. And then more showers over the weekend. April showers, you know what? Weather brought to you by JTR Roofing on CC.
You're listening to Drive Time with DeRUSH.
I think it's absolutely flawless. Whoever's idea was that is a genius.
On News Talk 830 WCCO.
No, I've been washed by the water of the kingdom, washed by the water now free, washed by the water of the king. Now I'm going home to the promised land.
I mean, this would have been a little more appropriate than we're going to blow this country to smithereens. Lots of texts reacting. I don't mind a brash, tough-talking president when we're in the middle of war. I don't. This is way beyond that. Texter says, I think the difference between Trump and almost all politicians when it comes to morality is that he doesn't care. He puts it all on display. The others deceive us and make us think they're stand-up people. But let's be honest, most are scumbags too. Another texter, Trump's language is no different than the Democrats. I will say this, Dan, and you're welcome to chime in. I think that's true. But I also think choosing to use that language in private versus putting it out in public, I think people are looking at Trump's choice to just let her rip as a virtue.
Yeah.
And I look at it as someone who has no self-control, someone who is so arrogant and so self-involved that they're just not thinking about the impact on our reputation, all those other things.
I think when you contrast the president's words on Easter with the Pope's words on Easter, the difference is pretty clear. Yeah. Now, you could quickly argue, well, he's a president. He's not supposed to be a religious leader. And you're right, but he is so often held up and so willing to use religion and faith as a political talking point that to divorce yourself of it and say, oh, no, I can say whatever I want because I'm the president and that doesn't have anything to do with faith. I don't know that you get to pick and choose like that. I think that's mildly problematic.
I have no problem with him. I mean, the correct there is no comparison. There is no comparison. Texter says, if my grandpa talked like that or posted like that, we'd take his phone away and start showing him some nice supervised places to live. I think the reality is if you're a Trump supporter, there's literally nothing he can do that would make you say like, too far. This was too far. Come on. Continental Diamond. I was over at Continental Diamond last week. Oh my gosh. The pre-owned Rolex selection is through the roof. Go visit the watch experts. Your Continental Diamond time check is $358. We are coming back top of the hour with Kate Raddatz. Would you let AI plan your wedding? And snooze button. Are you pro? Are you con? We get into it with Kate. Let's have some fun on this Monday on CCI.
Chad back here with you on CCO. I want to talk insurance and the group I have trusted for 30 years. Not just me, my father, my boys. We have been with Amber Scholl and Associates the entire time. They are with American Family, and trust is the right word. When something awful happens with your business or your home or your car, you need people who are available. You need individuals who have a team, and they've handled every situation. Amber and her team have done that. Let's be honest. Insurance rates are complicated. You need someone who knows this business in all ways, and I wouldn't be with Amber for 30 years unless I totally believed in her. Call today, 651-738-4811, and tell me you heard this spot from Chad on CCO.
My name is Whitney Allen, and I'm a widow. My husband, Ryan, died. We never thought we'd ever have to use life insurance, but the unexpected happened. With Ethos, signing up was fast and 100% online. You can get a quote in seconds, apply in minutes, and get same-day coverage. No medical exams, and you can get up to $3 million worth of coverage. I'm grateful we were prepared.
Get your free quote at ethos.com/radio. That's ethos.com/radio. Paid spokesperson. Time spent on application may vary. Online health questions required.
What's going on and why it matters. News Talk 830 WCCO, KMNB HD2, Minneapolis, St. Paul. Streaming now via the iHeart and Apple Music radio apps.
This is CBS News on the Hour, your home for original reporting.
I'm Michael Toscano. With Iran again rejecting a ceasefire plan, President Trump appeared at the White House surrounded by top military and national security personnel, and CBS's Stacey Lynn was there.
The president doubled down on his warning he issued to Iran yesterday to open the Strait of Hormuz by 8 p.m. Eastern tomorrow, or
every bridge in Iran will be decimated by 12 o'clock tomorrow night, where every power plant in Iran will be out of business, burning, exploding.
He says he believes they want to make a deal.
They have no Navy, they have no Air Force, they have no anti-aircraft weaponry, they have no radar.
Stacey Lynn, CBS News, the White House.
The Artemis II crew is now seeing the far side of the moon and taking thousands of photographs, some of areas never before seen by humans. Astronaut Christina Cook on those craters.
Some of them are super tiny. Most of them are pretty small. There's a couple that really stand out, obviously. And what it really looks like is like a lampshade with tiny pinprick holes and the light shining through. They are so bright compared to the rest of the moon.
The Supreme Court has given a longtime ally of President Trump a legal victory.
The nation-sized court threw out a ruling that upheld Steve Bannon's conviction for contempt of Congress. Bannon had to fight a subpoena to testify before a House committee that was investigating the January 6th attack on the U.S. Capitol. The Supreme Court's ruling paves the way for the criminal conviction to be dismissed, but it's largely symbolic. Bannon has already served 4 months in prison. Heather Bosch, CBS News.
Remember back in February, that deadly massive snow avalanche in California, Sierra Nevada near Lake Tahoe. Correspondent Jim Krasula says a report is out.
An investigation has found 9 backcountry skiers killed in the deadliest avalanche in modern California history were being guided through dangerous terrain when safer routes were available. A report from the Sierra Avalanche Center also says the skiers were traveling in a tightly packed line, but should have been spaced out to reduce the risk of an avalanche.
April is Distracted Driving Awareness Month. Ricky Lonker has owned Safety First driver training in Roanoke, Virginia for 15 years, and he says driving while distracted is getting worse.
Usually when we're in the car with them, they have to put their phones away on silence things. And obviously when we're driving, they'll call out, hey, look at that lady driving down the road, looking at her phone, or a person eating, going down the road, or taking selfies and things like that.
This is CBS News.
It's one of the most successful law and justice programs in television history that continues to uncover the truth. 48 Hours, Saturday on CBS and streaming on Paramount Plus.
Minnesota's trusted voice, every hour. Let's get you caught up with what's happening now on News Talk 830 WCCO.
Mostly sunny, 41 degrees at 4:03. I'm Laura Oakes. Charges filed today in the deadly hit and run of a University of St. Thomas student in Minneapolis last month. 22-year-old Gabriella Liebgott of St. Paul was arrested Friday and is now charged with 2 counts of criminal vehicular homicide for allegedly hitting and killing 22-year-old Saham Hassan in front of her northeast Minneapolis home. Court documents say Hassan was hit with such force that remnants of her clothing were torn from her body and were scattered in the street. Investigators say Liebgott had been drinking at the Uptown VFW earlier that night, and video surveillance shows her speeding away with 2 passengers in the car about 40 minutes before the crash. Investigators tracked her car to a Washington County auto body shop. Liebgott has had a series of traffic violations and was charged with a felony in 2023 for fleeing police. Hassan was set to graduate from St. Thomas this spring with a degree in public health. A surprise plea agreement today in the killing of a South Minneapolis DJ.
Hennepin County Attorney Mary Moriarty announcing that 19-year-old Dijon Davis has pleaded guilty to attempted second-degree murder after admitting to the July 2025 shooting of Justin Juice Marshall. Moriarty says the deal will allow Marshall's family to give their impact statements without the burden of a lengthy trial.
I'm just very happy that the office was able to do this to get some answers, first of all, for the family and closure for the family and community.
Davis is also tied to a separate carjacking and shooting from the previous month and is currently being held in the Hennepin County Jail as the court awaits a pre-sentence investigation to determine the final details of his May 7th sentencing. Taylor Rivera, News Talk 830 WCCO.
More questions after the city of Minneapolis releases surveillance footage of a federal ICE officer shooting a Venezuelan man on the city's north side.
The 9-minute silent video shows a federal agent tackling a man to the ground and struggling with him, but there's no sound on the tape, so you cannot hear the shooting. Another man is seen holding a shovel in the video, but he tosses it to the ground before the federal agent approaches. It can be seen on the ground during the entirety of the encounter. Federal agents claim they were attacked by 3 men with a shovel and broom, but there is no attack seen on tape. Twin Cities defense attorney Joe Tamburino says the video is not perfect.
However, what appears to be the situation is that this video is contradicting what the ICE agent said originally.
Susie Jones, News Talk 830 WCCO.
Chief Justice Natalie Hudson announcing she will retire from Minnesota's highest court. This comes as Hudson, who is 69, approaches the mandatory retirement age of 70 for Minnesota judges. And it was quite the finish for the Gopher women's gymnastics team over the weekend. They went from being the lowest ranked team at the NCAA regional finals in Oregon to finishing in second place, which qualifies them for the NCAA National Championship. It'll be the first time since 2022 the Gopher women have made it to nationals. WCCO News Time is 4:06.
Time to find out how it's moving on the roads and what's moving in via the skies. This is traffic and weather together on CCO, starting with a check of the commute.
Slowdowns place, West 694, Highway 10, over to Silver Lake Road, and then again as you make way toward University Avenue to Highway 252. 494 northbound congested, Highway 55 into the Fish Lake Interchange, East 94, minor slowdowns through downtown St. Paul. Jerry Peterson, News Talk 830 WCCO.
Hungry? Go to Dickey's Barbecue Pit of Egan for real Texas barbecue. All meats smoked fresh in-house daily. You can dine in, take out, have it delivered, or have your event catered anywhere in the metro. Just go to Dickeys.com. Dickey's Barbecue Pit of Egan, the Twin Cities catering leader.
Now, the latest conditions and the outlook for the next few days with your CCO forecast.
Brought to you by Dickey's Barbecue Pit of Egan, the Twin Cities catering leader. Find them at Dickeys.com. Here's WCCO TV Chief Meteorologist Chris Schaefer.
We'll keep the sky clear into the night, but whoo, do we chill out.
falling back to 21 by tomorrow morning. At least the wind settles down. Now, the clouds are going to increase throughout the day tomorrow. It does get breezy again with a high of 46. Rain showers will pop late tomorrow night. That will spill into Wednesday, a high of 60 Wednesday afternoon.
Right now, lots of sunshine, 41 degrees at News Talk 830 WCCO.
Must hear stories, must hear events, must hear radio. News Talk 830 WCCO. Good questions. Topics you'll probably talk about at dinner. Places to go for dinner. This is the Ride Home Reimagined. Welcome to Drive Time with DeRUSH. Thanks to Luther Kia of Bloomington. Now, here's Jason DeRUSH.
Monday, Easter Monday, day after Easter. What is the candy you are most likely to steal out of your kid's Easter basket? I want to hear about it. 651-461-9226. Kate Raddatz is with us with her monthly Rad Report. Let's hit the open.
Let's bounce some pop culture stories and issues through the lens of this Emmy Award-winning journalist turned media relations VP.
From TikTok and Target runs, what's trending and more. She's got the scoop for Jason in the Rad Report.
Now on Drive Time with DeRUSH, it's time for the Rad Report.
What would it be, Kate? Number one candy you would be most likely to steal. Let's hear it.
It already happened, but it's any kind of Reese's peanut butter cup, particularly the bunny-shaped ones. Or I think they do egg-shaped too.
Yep.
But we have the bunny, the bunny ones particularly.
Dan was applauding. Dan,
Well done.
You're,
Well done.
You're right
It's the
there.
only correct answer.
It is
They're
the
so
correct
pretty,
answer
too.
without question, for sure.
Yeah, and they have pretty colored foil.
No,
Yeah.
it's the Cadbury Cream Egg. That is the number one.
Oh.
Yes.
Oh.
Yes. The old
I
school.
can't eat that. I don't
No?
think I can even eat one. It's too much.
Too much
It's
what?
Too much.
Too much stuff.
It's the filling. If it was just an empty shell, I'd be fine with it.
Filling. Problem. If you're watching
too
on our video stream, I'm sharing a TikTok. I'm on TikTok now. I'm trying to be cool with the kids, Kate.
I'm behind. I admire that. That's good for you.
Alyssa always buys me one Cadbury Cream Egg. I do not eat a ton of candy. This is going to shock you. But when it's there, you're going to eat it, you know? We had another...
I've never think I would not have pegged you as a Cadbury egg guy. It's just, I don't know.
It's an unusual candy. I think I like the fact that it has one purpose. I like a one-purpose item, right?
Sure.
Sure. The Reese's peanut butter, like, could we get real about Reese's? What an overrated sham of a candy. Reese's has taken one delicious candy and put it in 27 different shapes, and you guys act like it's God's gift to candy.
Kate, on behalf of the show, I'd like to apologize for my partner's remarks.
It's the same candy. Nothing's stopping you from getting a Reese's peanut butter cup on every day of the year.
That's right.
Why is the Reese's? What's the attraction of the egg? Which, frankly, I did eat a Reese's egg, and I thought the proportions were kind of weird.
That's why I think the bunny is. I'm telling you, I think the bunny tastes better.
It's the bunny
than the egg, because the egg has a lot of peanut butter filling.
It's a lot of peanut butter. You're at a certain
go with
point.
The bunny.
You're having a peanut butter sandwich.
Yes, I will agree with you. It's a little more aggressive with the egg. So try the bunny next year, or they might be on sale now. So go try it again.
So the texters are coming through. We were on a massive hunt this year for robin's eggs. Are you familiar with robin's eggs?
Is that a Jordan almond or something, or what? No,
It looks like a Jordan almond.
Okay, I love Jordan almonds.
But
Sure.
it is a Whopper. It's essentially a Whopper.
Okay.
So it's like Whopper filling, then a little bit of chocolate, then a little bit of a borderline chalky candy coating. Doesn't that sound attractive? I don't know.
It did until you got
The
there.
chalky sort of ruined it.
It does sound good. I can picture it. It sounds good.
So every year I know that they're going to be impossible to find, and every year I forget to like go shopping for them early. So I put it out on Twitter that I couldn't find it, and people were like, "Here's the thing with this sort of situation: people are real helpful, except like 0% helpful." So like everyone when I'm like, I can't find eggs. And I can't find robin's eggs. And people chime in with answers like, well, have you looked at Walgreens? I'm like, yes.
Last Tuesday.
Yes. CVS has them. And I'm like, okay. So I looked on the CVS website. It said they had robin's eggs in South St. Paul. So I drove to the CVS in South St. Paul where they had like 2 things of Easter candy left on the shelf. There was no way there were robin's eggs, but people are trying to be helpful, whatever.
They're trying. I'm not going to fault you. I always think of the last minute of things I actually need.
I did put it on my calendar for next year, right after
there you go.
St. Patrick's Day, so I remember. But Suzanne, who is the owner of Honey and Mackey's in Plymouth, she buys like giant 2-pound bags because she makes robin's egg ice cream.
Oh, okay.
And she saw my post and she pulled a bag aside and hooked me up. Isn't that
wow.
right?
Look at that connection.
Pretty nice. Pretty
now
nice.
I want to go there and try that ice cream.
The ice cream's very good. It's very good. Honey and Mackey's right in Plymouth. Texters all over the place here. Peeps. Where are you on Peeps?
Oh, okay. So I found out yesterday it was unique to my family that our Easter Bunny always brings Peeps, always, because we always explode them in the microwave. And I thought everybody did that because growing up, we always got Peeps. My kids get Peeps. So never eat them. Think they taste terrible, but very fun. Not telling you should. Very messy, but yeah, that's what we do.
Oh, that's hilarious.
So, tastes terrible though.
We do this for our kids. We had to ship them their candy this year. No kids home for
cute.
Easter.
Was this your first Easter with no kids home? Was this the first one?
It is because Sam is a freshman, so it's the first year without Sam.
Oh, that is strange. And they didn't come home. They don't. I'm assuming they get a spring break, but it's
Right.
not like they have a
Yeah,
an Easter break.
it
Sure.
felt a little ridiculous to bring them home for the weekend. So we had Easter with Alyssa's family on Saturday, like a little midday type thing. And then, yeah, it was kind of funny Sunday morning to wake up and be like, what do you want to do?
But you sent them their candy.
We sent them their candy. We talked to the kids. We talked to my parents. Now, Texter's saying you can get robin eggs at Regina Candies, which is a local, but it's the local version. It's probably delicious because it's the local version, not the robin's egg.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, I bet that's interesting. Black jelly beans.
The best. Oh,
I'm
the
with
best.
you, Kate. There's a lot of
my
haters.
Favorite flavor.
A lot of
you
haters.
like black licorice?
I do.
You do black licorice, so there you go. Yeah.
My grandma loved black. It is funny how these are just such like it's a family memory or a long time story. But my grandma loved black licorice, and so do I. Like I'm better than my grandma? No. If they're good enough for my grandma, they're good enough for me.
Exactly.
Now, I will say the best thing I did one year with leftover Easter candy, and I did this with Halloween candy, is you can take all the chocolates, if you have a lot of chocolate, lay it out on a cookie sheet, and then throw it in the oven, and then throw it in the refrigerator. So you melt it, and then you turn it into like random candy brittle, which is kind of like a fun...
I've heard of cookies. People will make a cookie dough and throw all the candy in it. Again, haven't done it, but that's very, that's a good Instagram. You should.
I should have, yes.
I think that would go well.
I was doing this. Yeah, I should bring it back, I guess. Now we have like all this candy at home and it's just Alyssa and me.
Is it all Cadbury eggs? Because that might not.
I do like the mini egg. I think the mini egg with the crunchy candy shell on the outside. And then either dark chocolate or milk chocolate on the inside. I think those are good.
I'm a little salty because I'm 37 years old, and this is the first year I have not gotten an Easter basket because my parents were still the Easter Bunny. The Easter Bunny was still gone. So
sad.
Yeah, first year. You know, I'm reading these things online of people saying, "Well, we don't get Easter baskets as adults." I'm like, "Oh, that's interesting. My Easter Bunny has still come until this year." But
I know we always we did it for each other. Like we have, like I have my childhood Easter basket, wicker basket, looks a little rough. Understandably, it's 50 years old. Like it's a little rough, but this year we did not do that. So yeah. So I went to brunch. We went to brunch with our friend Sonny and had a bottle of champagne and drowned our sorrows. You know what? That worked out all right too. Let's stand by. Kate Raddatz is with us, the Rab Report. I want to ask about AI weddings. More and more brides and grooms are turning to AI to plan their weddings. Would Kate have done that if AI were around? And snooze button. Where you at on the snooze? More with Kate. She won't make you snooze at all here on CCO.
You're listening to Drive Time with DeRUSH on News Talk 830 WCCO.
Jason here for my friend Chris Lindahl and the Chris Lindahl Real Estate Company. You want to reach out at chrislindahl.com because it's time for you to unload that house and do it quickly and easily and stress-free. I just saw a video on Chris's Instagram page where it was pretty good. It was with the hockey team here, and Chris was getting a big red check to Nordy. A guaranteed cash offer. Everybody wants the guaranteed cash offer. Nordy getting his hand on a big red check. Chris told me that more and more Minnesotans are saying yes to the guaranteed cash offer and getting that big red check. And it's not necessarily because they want the speed, although you can get to closing in as quick as 2 days. It's because they just don't want the headaches. Oh, what's the mortgage rate going to be? What's this? What's that? Is the inspection going to be a pain in the neck? On and on and on. Be like Nordy. Be like 80% more Minnesotans over the last year and get that big red check. chrislindahl.com. Get a free smart seller guide. Find out if the big red check and the guaranteed cash offer makes sense for you.
Mark your calendar. One day only, April 18th. It's the tent sale at By the Yard in Jordan. Score 20 to 50% off display sale items. Premium maintenance-free furniture at unbeatable prices. Everything is ready to go. Take it home the same day and save big. But it's one day and one day only, so don't miss out. Join us April 18th in Jordan. By the Yard. Life is better outdoors.
Imagine placing an investment or trade without fear. Knowing that big institutions have taken the same trade as you, pushing the price higher, which only they can do. You get to ride the wave of institutional demand. If not, your plan will protect you from the downside. This is how our students are taught to invest in trade. Right now, you can sign up for a free investing class where we'll outline our strategy for following the smart money. Text investing to 210-210. We'll also review strategies for growing a retirement portfolio, how professionals profit when stocks are falling, and how to protect your investments against inflation. With a 25-year history, local classrooms, and one-on-one support, you're not alone. And now it's your turn. Sign up for a free investing class today. Text investing to 210-210 or go to learnwithota.com.
This is the story of the one. As a maintenance tech at a university, he knows ordering from multiple suppliers takes time away from keeping their arena up and running. That's why he counts on Grainger to get everything he needs, from lighting and HVAC parts to plumbing supplies, all in one place. And with fast, dependable delivery, he's stocked and ready for the next tip-off. Call 1-800-GRAINGER, click Grainger.com, or just stop by. Grainger, for the ones who get it done.
Straight Talk Wireless presents Pickup Truck Wisdom.
Trust is earned. That's why I've stuck with Straight Talk. Same price since 2009 on Verizon's 5G network. Because shoot, anyone can make a promise. Keeping it for years, that means something.
Now plans starting at $25 a month with 4 lines. Find us at straighttalk.com and Walmart. Straight Talk Wireless. Straightforward. Always. Same price claim applies only to the base monthly price of our $45 plan from October 2009 to present.
Where curiosity hits the gas. Drive Time with DeRUSH on News Talk 830 WCCO.
Kate Raddatz with us. Kate, we saw this story in Axios today talking about AI weddings. More and more of these. And I understand it. Like people are going to ChatGPT and Claude for everything, it seems. Back in your day, would you have asked AI for advice on planning your wedding?
Not. My wedding is a tough one to relate to because I had such a small casual wedding. But I think if I was having a traditional wedding, I could see areas where it would be helpful. It could suggest venues. It could help anything that I would spend a lot of time on. I'm sure it could save time. But I think it's probably how I think about when I worry if AI will replace certain jobs. I think it can't replace human intuition and the connections that wedding planners have. And, I'm pretty sure both my sister and my sister-in-law used wedding planners, and they just, I don't know, they do real-time management that AI can't really replicate.
Yeah, I think that, one of the dangers of AI in this regard, and it's no different than like when back in our time when we were watching like these HGTV home decorating shows, that you would ask for things that were like impossible or things that were like way beyond the budget. I think, one of the things they're saying in this story, and now over a third of engaged couples use AI in their wedding planning, a share that doubled in nearly a year. Which makes sense. Like it's much more mainstream now. But like if you're using AI to like help create your invitation or your save the date or what, great. But if you're using this and asking for like, I don't know, I want my wedding to look like this and I want this table setting, or I don't know. I wonder if some of that is tough.
Yeah, I mean, I always think of it as it can help you save time on the things you're already going to have to do anyway. Yeah. But it cannot replace those specialized skills. It can't. It can't replace their real-time crisis management, handling family dynamics. I mean, all the complicated things that go into weddings. If I was going to have a big wedding, I 100% would want a wedding planner for sure, because it's already stressful enough. So. I could see the benefit of both. Yeah.
When I got married, we didn't know anything. Like Alyssa's mom did most of it. We were so young. It was the third wedding I had ever been to. I guess I would my wedding was number 3. So we didn't know anything. Like we had no real preference of like, oh, we want this, we want that. Like we didn't know jack. So I don't know. In retrospect, you're like, it was great. We had a great party. It was a great event. I hope I think Alyssa's parents enjoyed it. I don't know. They decided most of the stuff. Like our friends had a great time. Like, yeah, I think it was great. I don't know. Snooze button. I am not a snoozer. Are you a snooze button?
When I set an alarm, which I rarely do, yes, I will use the snooze button. Yes.
Interesting.
Mm-hmm. And it'll go off a lot.
Are you just trying to trick yourself? Like, do you lie about the alarm? This is what I don't understand about the snooze button, because if I set an alarm, it means I have to get up at that time. It doesn't mean I have to get up in intervals of 9 minutes later times 6 or whatever. You know what I mean? Like how do you set the alarm then?
Well, because I don't set an alarm during the week, I will naturally wake up within a 20-minute span of when I should wake up, no matter what. But if something is out of routine and I need to set an alarm, I would rather not be jolted awake at no matter what, you have to be up at this time. I would rather hear the alarm and go, oh, it's okay. I have a 20-minute buffer. And when I feel like getting up in that 20-minute buffer, then I'll really get up. That's how I like to wake up.
Are you a snoozer? You do snooze, don't you, Dan?
Yeah, I do. I do it every day, and for the exact same reason that Kate said it. She articulated it very, very well. That it's that jolting feeling of coming out of sleep, to the alarm, and then being able to say, okay, for me, I do one snooze. It's on my phone, so I've got it set to 10 minutes. So I do the one snooze to kind of give myself that 10 minutes to sort of, okay, we're waking up. We're going to get after the day. We can just sort of do that more casually than I'm awake.
Do you go to Do you go back to sleep in that time, or you're just lying in bed?
You're just lying. I don't know about Kate, but I'm just lying there.
Or are you laying? I never know the difference.
Waking myself up.
Kate, do you just lay there, or do you go back to sleep?
It depends. I don't think you can fully go back to sleep. It's just to rest your eyes a little bit. Like
I found
waking your mind up,
I found like 10 articles on this that give different viewpoints. Snoozing it's either good or bad for your health. Unclear. Nope. Nobody seems to know.
No, it's bad for our health. Snoozing is bad for our health.
Well, the theory was that it can interrupt the REM sleep. Like the last hour of sleep is supposed to be the best hour of sleep. I don't know. The New York Times headline. Is it bad to snooze your alarm? The answer may depend on why you're doing it in the first place. Like, what a snotty little article, right? Like, I don't know. And that Scientific American, new research says hitting the snooze button may actually be good for you. So I don't know. Everything
when your alarm goes off, you just jump. You're just up. You just turn it off and you jump up. Oh, that sounds so jarring to me.
I mean, I think it's the years of the morning show. I mean, I don't really set an alarm anymore, but I used to set an alarm for 2:26 in the morning. And it was because I really needed to wake up at 2:20 in the morning, but 2:26 was about the last second I could possibly wake up. So I knew I had to get up. When it goes off, it's like, whoa, I got to jump in the shower, get dressed, leave the house so I could be at work at 3:30.
Oh man, I just don't think I could do that.
Now, Andrew on YouTube says he snoozes the alarm at 6 a.m. and gets out of bed at 8. That's an amazing amount of snoozing.
What's the point?
That's incredible.
Anything more than a half hour, just no.
Yeah.
I'm just speculating, but we've talked about this before, Jason. There are times where, like, if I wake up, I usually get up around 8. If I wake up at like 4 or 5 in the morning and look over at the clock and I'm like, I still got 3 or 4 hours to sleep yet. That's cool. And then I go back to sleep. So maybe he's giving himself that little moment of, I still got 2 more hours left.
Maybe.
Sure.
Maybe. A frequent daily contributor to Vanita's show in the morning says that you can use the snooze to go back to sleep and then miss your morning radio segment.
Whoa.
So, that happens too. Very good. Kate, sleep however you want. Who cares?
That's right.
Who cares?
That's right.
It's
probably killing you.
Rest assured that the American news media will tell you it's either good for your health or bad for your health and probably change their mind tomorrow.
That's right.
Kate Raddatz. We'll see you next month. Thanks, Kate.
Sounds good.
Kate Raddatz with us. She is a big shot at McClung PR. She's a vice president over there. So good stuff. You can give Kate a follow on Instagram, kate.raddatz, Raddatz. We'll break in a minute. Savannah Guthrie today, back on the Today Show with her mother still missing. Could you do it? We'll talk about it in just a minute here on Drive Time.
Drive Time with DeRUSH is fueled by Luther Kia of Bloomington. Go see Dan Dingman and the crew today, or always online at lutherkiaofbloomington.com.
Tonight is one of those moments where a field gets narrowed down from 64 down to 16, down to 1. 16 is a big number when it comes to my source for home and auto insurance. It's the Canopy Group. It's Jason here for the Canopy Group, because 16 never is about, oh, you're going to have 16 different calls to make. You're going to have 16 different people to go back and forth about what your home insurance should be priced at or what your car insurance should be priced at. No. You go to one place, thecanopygroup.com, and you get access to 16 different companies. Those companies have all been vetted. The local team at the Canopy Group makes sure that they're all great. They all are going to take care of you if you should need help with your home or your car. But it's all about giving you options and saving you money. That is nothing but net as far as I'm concerned, if you're following this metaphor. Go to thecanopygroup.com. Get a quote. You can do it online or do it the way I did. This has been a couple years now. I called 800-967-3389. They're the best. They'll get you the best coverage for the best price at the Canopy Group.
Now, you got a team for almost everything in life. Accountants for your taxes, doctors for the family's health care, teachers and coaches for the kids' school and sports, even a team of neighbors who have very strong opinions about your landscaping. And when it comes to understanding what's happening in Minnesota, you need a team for that too. Some for news and insight, others for conversation and perspective. This is your team for staying informed and connected. News Talk 830 WCCO.
You know that Big Bargain detergent jug is 80% water, right? It doesn't clean as well.
80% water? I thought I was getting a better deal because it's so big.
If you want a better clean, Tide Pods are only 12% water. The rest is pure, concentrated cleaning ingredients.
Oh, let me make an announcement.
Attention shoppers, if you want a real deal, try Tide Pods.
Stop paying for watered-down detergents. Pay for clean. If it's got to be clean, it's got to be Tide Pods. Water content based on the leading bargain liquid detergent.
Difference between liking a house and actually getting it. Redfin is built to make up that difference and close the gap between finding and owning the home for you. Redfin agents close twice as many deals as other agents. So when you find a home you love, you're not a step behind when it's time to make an offer. That means less watching great homes disappear and more focus on the ones you'll actually move into and call home. Redfin helps turn saved listings into real addresses. Get started at redfin.com. Own the dream.
I'm back to doing what I love and more. Thanks to the Good Feet store.
Don't suffer through foot pain, sore ankles, tired legs, aching back and hips, or sore knees. Call the Good Feet store. The Good Feet Arch Support System is designed to relieve pain and stress in the body with over 350 styles and sizes. Located in Maple Grove, Burnsville, Woodbury, and Roseville. Call 855-554-3338 or stop in for your complimentary fitting. In as little as 40 minutes, you could be walking out pain-free.
Thanks to the Good Feet store.
Don't let tax refund worries hold you back. File now with TurboTax on Intuit Credit Karma. They'll find every credit and deduction to help you get every refund dollar you deserve or your money back. Start filing today in the Credit Karma app.
We all hear the radio ads about the IRS. They tell you to be afraid, to be scared, and they try to frighten you into calling. I'm not here to do that. Tax Relief Advocates is different. TRA is here to tell you that if you owe money to the IRS, whether it's $5,000, $50,000, or $500,000, we have a solution. It doesn't matter if you're sitting in your car, at work, or with your kids. No matter where you are, call now. 800-575-1102. Don't lose hope. TRA can eliminate or reduce what you owe to the IRS. Generous programs are now available that can give you a fresh start. Our passion is taxes and helping individuals fix their IRS problems. We have over 1,000 5-star reviews on Google and an A+ with the Better Business Bureau. You don't need to be afraid of the IRS any longer. End your tax nightmare today by visiting us online at TRA.com or call 800-575-1102. That's 800-575-1102. Tax Relief Advocates. Real solutions for real people.
Time to find out how it's moving on the roads and what's moving in via the skies. This is traffic and weather together on CCO, starting with a check of the commute.
Watching the slow stuff east 494 100 to Cedar Avenue, traveling east 94 into St. Paul, slowdowns between Dale and Mounds Boulevard. Up on the north side, 694, it's a bit sluggish. Westbound run Highway 10 to 252, and 610 is slow between 252 and Broadway. Trey Peterson, News Talk 830 WCCO.
You sit on your deck and you're sick of looking at your crappy siding. Type JTR on your computer for roofing, siding, gutters, windows, and more. JTR Roofing has you covered from the roof on down, serving the Twin Cities Metro. For a free estimate, visit jtrroofinginc.com.
Now, the latest conditions and the outlook for the next few days with your CCO forecast.
JTR Roofing bringing us Chris Schaefer's weather.
High pressure is moving in. That'll keep the sky clear tonight, but we're going to chill out, falling back to 21 by tomorrow morning. Wind will be light. That will pick up throughout the day tomorrow, and the clouds will increase as well. Should have a high of 46 tomorrow. Still below average. Rain showers pop late tomorrow night. That spills into a warm Wednesday with a high up near 60.
Woodbury, it is sunny. It is 39. That wind at 14 miles an hour. You're going to feel it here on CCO.
You're listening to Drive Time with DeRUSH.
He's known for the slow burn. He wanted to keep it organic, and I'm still begging for it. More controversy.
On News Talk 830 WCCO.
Watch me dance, dance the night away. My heart could be burning, but you won't see it on my face. Watch me dance.
Savannah Guthrie was back on the Today Show this morning. Honestly, I wondered if she'd ever be able to come back. If I were in her circumstance, I don't know. What would you do? 651-461-9226. At a certain point, when something traumatic happens to you, you gotta get back at it, right? Like what is your choice? Well, Savannah Guthrie does have a choice, right? Like she has enough money, enough wealth. She never has to come back to work. Now, I'm certain that not coming back to work comes with its own issue, right? Where you say, oof, like, are you just going to be sad the whole time? New York Times wrote about this today. They said sometimes no news is the hardest news, that in life we always want there to be a happy ending, an easy conclusion. And sometimes in life it's messy, it's undetermined. We don't know where her mother is. 84-year-old Nancy, snatched from her home in Arizona, who knows where she is? When you deal with a death in the family, I think when a parent dies, it's one of those things that is hard to move on from, but it's sort of the expected way that life moves. When your mother is kidnapped, you have no idea where she is. 2 months have passed. Here's a little bit of Savannah Guthrie on the Today Show this morning.
Good morning. Welcome to Today on this Monday morning. We are so glad you started your week with us, and it is good to be home.
Yes, it is good to have you back at home.
Well, here we go. Ready or not, let's do the news.
Yes, so good to have you back.
And that's how things started. The only time she really showed emotion was when, in the Today Show, they go outside to the crowd and you heard a little bit of the cheering there. Like that's like people with their signs up, and people had, the fans of the show had like nice signs of support for Savannah. She didn't have to. What do you do in that circumstance? Now, as a viewer, what is strange is that not only is she just doing her regular job, right? Like, let's get the news, do the news. She interviewed a former astronaut. She did the usual Today Show bit. She's still in the news. Like the ticker underneath had a quote from her from the thing she posted on Easter. I don't know. The only comparison in my mind that I can think of is Patty Wetterly. where for all those years, Patty didn't really know what had happened to Jacob. You hold out hope. As time passes, you hold out less hope, but you never give up. And yet you have to get on with it. But Patty turned her life's work into more mission oriented, and she did run for office. But her life's work was really about protecting kids. And I don't know. Like, would I come back here? Like, if my mom was kidnapped in the middle of the night, to come back here for 3 hours and be expected to weigh in. A lot of the stuff we weigh in on is nonsense because we're just trying to have some, you're trying to have some fun. And I don't know. It's when that's going on in your personal life, how do you move forward?
First of all, I pity the fools that try to kidnap your mother because
wow. It's not going to go
that would
well.
not end well for them.
No.
I think, and again, I've never been through anything like this, so it's pure speculation.
So unrelatable.
A lot of times I think we like to think that we know how we'd react in a given situation.
Yeah.
Kind of think we're fooling ourselves a little bit. If you've never been through anything even remotely like it, I know you can think about how you'd like to react in a situation like that, but how you actually would, I think there's a little humility we got to inject into that process. So I say that off the top. And I also know that anytime there's chaos or uncertainty or pain or grieving or anything going on in your personal life, work can often be a respite from that, where you can go do the thing that you do, 40 hours a week, whatever it is, and sort of give your brain and your emotions a little bit of a break.
Yeah.
Let's just do the news. Can I just do the news and not have to think about this for just an hour or two, right? It's not that the thing ever goes away. The thing is always there. But give yourself sort of an emotional break a little bit. I think, work and jobs and anything like that can be a useful distraction to that sort of thing at times. So I hope, my hope and prayer for Savannah is just that today offered her a little bit of a break from what has to be just the most horrible weeks of her life.
Yeah, I just think that idea of picking up, and we all do it in our life in different ways, right? And maybe it is the death of a parent. Maybe it's, I think about the parents of the two kids who were killed at Annunciation School.
Sure.
Right? Whenever you have something that sort of isn't in the way it's supposed to be, you know what I mean? Like, my parents are in their 70s. At a certain point, their time will be up. And I'm going to be a wreck. And also, this is the normal order of things. Like, my mom has always talked about how she doesn't want to have to bury one of her kids. So when things operate out of that norm, this is how it's supposed to be. But I think it's tough. It's so tough to move on, to give yourself permission to laugh or to even do something as mundane as work. It's hard. So I admire it. I admire the fact that she went back. I don't know, from a viewer standpoint, it's always like, can you look at Savannah the same now? To a certain degree, I look at her with more admiration than I had before, the way that she's handled all that.
I would hope that that's the more general reaction, is people are looking at her with a mixture of compassion and admiration for her ability to come back and still do that job, knowing what has to be on her mind.
Now, there's still, like, both on text and on YouTube, there's a little pushback, and I get why people feel this way, that it's sad how only the rich and famous, get the airwaves, or, it's because she's a celebrity. And I guess I would say, like, you're right, and don't kid yourself. Welcome to reality.
Yeah.
People who are celebrities get absolutely destroyed if they say one wrong thing or make a slip up. And if they're the victim of something, yes, it's going to be more newsworthy. Is it more important? No. Newsworthiness should never be correlated in your mind with the importance of the person, the story, the incident. It is correlated to nothing other than the news media thinks it's interesting. That's it. So while I do think it's fair to say, all right, if Dan Cook's mom was kidnapped, would the same FBI be rolled out? Would you get the same attention? On the other hand, like, you don't have to trip over yourself making this bad because she's a celebrity. This kind of thing almost never happens. An old lady kidnapped by force from her home, no ransom, no nothing, no trace. It's very unusual. Thank God.
I mean, yeah, they're not wrong to say that, the fact that celebrities draw more attention.
It is true.
Is true. That if you're an attractive young woman, you're going to draw way more
Also
attention
true.
than something like this. Those are lamentable cultural issues that we have, none of which are Savannah Guthrie's fault. Right. So if you were in a position where your relative, is kidnapped and is in a dangerous situation, and because of whatever status you've gained, there's more of a law enforcement presence or more investigative tools or whatever it is poured into that case, are you going to say, oh no, don't do that because there's all these other people that are being kidnapped and they're not good? No, of course, you're going to take whatever resources you can get. That's not Savannah's fault. And so the fact that we talk about this isn't so much, it shouldn't be so much this particular case. That's why you're asking the question the way you're asking it, is what would you do in a given situation like this? How would you react? Because the part of, if we tried to highlight every missing person case in the country, that's all we'd ever talk about. Right. So the fact that one has popped through into the cultural milieu is because of the fame. Yeah. Is that lamentable in a sense? Sure it is. And it gives us a chance to say, hey, wait a minute, this is actually a real thing that happens to people. And how do we react and how should we react? And, it fosters conversation in a way that other things just don't.
FBI says there were about 49,000 kidnappings in 2025. Fewer than 700 were people 70 years old or older. And that, don't freak out about that 49,000 number. Most of those are sort of family member taking somebody from a nursing home or a custody dispute, that sort of thing. But it does not happen all the time. 4:49, we're going to break. The I voted sticker. Does it need a rebrand? We'll talk about that.
This is Drive Time with DeRUSH on News Talk 830 WCCO.
Tell you who does not need a rebrand, and that is Tirade Dermatology. It's Jason here for my friend, Dr. Mohiba Tirade. Every week, I run into a CCO radio listener who says, I heard you talking about Dr. Mohiba Tirade and Tirade Dermatology. And I was a little skeptical when you said I would be able to get in within 3 weeks, but the reality is I got in within 1 week. Tirade Dermatology has 10 different locations all over the Twin Cities, and your skin care is so important. So important. Tirade Dermatology, they got the medical for the full body skin checkup. I go there once a year for that. Alyssa goes there twice a year. Her in-laws go to Tirade. You gotta get in on it. Now, this month, we're talking a little bit about hair loss, and I know a thing or two about hair loss. Dr. Tirade has been talking with me about my teenage sons, and the reality is the earlier you treat hair loss, the better the results. And she's got a ton of tools at her disposal, from prescription medications, platelets, exosomes, painless laser options. They'll identify the root cause and build a plan that works for you. So from skincare to hair loss, they got you covered. Visit my team, the Tirade team, at TAREEN, TiradeDermatology.com.
I'm Piera Palazzolo, VP of Digital Marketing for the American Management Association, a company focused on the management training skills needed to enhance the careers of business professionals. We did our research when it came to the best companies for website development and chose AmericanEagle.com. And we couldn't be happier. AmericanEagle.com worked closely with us to understand the front and back end requirements needed to launch an e-commerce website that could handle the complexities of running thousands of seminars nationwide. Our robust new website and improved SEO saw immediate increases in site traffic and web revenue. If you're in need of managerial effectiveness and success, visit our website at amanet.org. If you're in need of a website that provides an unparalleled consumer experience, I highly recommend AmericanEagle.com.
Transform your business today. Dial 877-WebNow1 for a free digital consultation with AmericanEagle.com.
Jordana here for my friends at Mini Leaf. Hear what they're saying about this brand I love.
Tell me about your experience with the night gummies.
I started using them. I think this is my third order. I heard Jordana on WCCO radio talking about it, and I thought, well, if she's doing it, trying to get off the Ambien, and I started with the pineapple gummies for sleep. That's what I take them for, is sleep. And I've been very pleased with the product. I started with the full gummy. Now I only take half, and that helps me sleep. So I'm very happy with the product, and I'm 70 years old. And those sleep night gummies will help her sleep painlessly through the night. Those sleep night gummies are a real charm. Check out Mini Leaf's products at MINNELEAF.com. Check out that Triple Diamond Pain Cream, those sleep night gummies, or their other great products. I use them. There's so many CCOers that absolutely love them. You will too.
Mini Leaf means quality. Taste happy at minileaf.com.
The home of Minnesota's best legal products.
Access to affordable credit helps me pay my employees, but I don't really need it.
Inflation is killing me. But who cares? Big retailers are making record profits. That's why we support the Durbin Marshall credit card bill.
See? Banks and credit unions help small businesses make payroll. This bill would cut the vital resources they need.
While increasing megastore profits. They deserve it, don't they?
Tell Congress, stop the Durbin Marshall money grab for corporate megastores.
Paid for by the Electronic Payments Coalition.
Time to find out how it's moving on the roads and what's moving in via the skies. This is traffic and weather together on CCO, starting with a check of the commute.
And brought to you by Linda's Construction, lindasconstruction.com. North 494 is heavy. Rockford Road into the Fish Lake Interchange. West 94, get ready for slowdowns past 169 to Weaver Lake Road. Protect your home before spring storms arrive. Choose GAF asphalt shingles and receive free installation labor this April. Go to lindasconstruction.com. Jerry Peterson, News Talk 830 WCCO.
With a well-designed will, trust, and estate plan, you can have peace of mind. Choose Matt Gutman of Gutman Law to give yourself peace of mind. Call him now, 612-895-1616 at gutmanlaw.com. Gutman Law, peace of mind today for tomorrow.
Now, the latest conditions and the outlook for the next few days with your CCO forecast.
All right, forecast is a little chilly. The wind is going to calm down tonight. 21 is the low tomorrow. Chance for rain showers late night. High of 46. Wednesday, a high of 60, but rainy. It's spring. The worst season of the year here in Minnesota. Right now, it's 41 out of CC.
The ride home deserves better conversation. Drive time with DeRUSH on News Talk 830 WCCO.
Let's get your Continental Diamond time check. It is 4:55. Time to get out to Continental Diamond at St. Louis Park. I visited on Friday morning. Oh, man, the selection from all different price points, too. Incredible watches. I love the watch selection at Continental Diamond and continentaldiamond.com. Okay, there is a bill in front of the state legislature that would allow the kids of Minnesota to redesign the I voted sticker. The Minnesota I voted sticker was designed on the print shop back on a Macintosh 2C. I don't know. It's about as plain as it comes, right? Red.
Sure. That's what makes
voted.
it iconic.
It is iconic. I have countless photos of myself with this sticker.
You could have stopped with self.
What is the harm? I saw Blois Olson in Morning Take.
Yeah.
His take was no. I think what's the harm in letting the kids get excited about voted, have them come up with some good stuff?
I don't see a harm if you're offering this alongside the classic I voted sticker, but I would be mildly disappointed if I went to my local polling place and didn't see the red sticker.
I mean, I just think
I'd get over it quickly.
Yeah.
But I'd be mildly disappointed.
I forgot about this bit that we did. We did an I voted sticker bit on this show a while ago where we were making fun of Chad hating the I voted sticker. I was trying to find a photo of me wearing the I voted sticker. Instead, I just found old bits from this show. I've done this show long enough that we could probably start recycling some of this stuff, right? Was that an option?
At least 24% of the reason that I wear the I voted sticker into work is just because I know it annoys
It just gets them mad.
Totally.
All right. I don't care. Let the kids redesign it. Who cares? That's fine. Drive time back with DeRUSH. Our headlines next.
The one real estate agent that really gets results, John Schuster of the John Schuster Group, Coldwell Banker Realty. Paul joins us now. What was your experience like working with the Schuster Group?
We had heard a number of their radio spots on WCCO, and we also attended John and Paul Douglas's home selling seminar. Tim and Abby Lehman came out and met with us.
How were they?
I have one word, and that's exceptional. They went above and beyond our expectations. We put our house on the market on a Thursday morning, and within 48 hours, we had 7 offers. We were able to fortunately sell our house for over $50,000 over ask. John and his team deliver exactly what they say they're going to deliver. You know, I truly think these are people that have your best interest in mind. If we had to do this all over again, there's only one phone call I would make, and that'd be the John Schuster Group.
952-222-9000 online, johnschustergroup.com.
There's a difference between liking a house and actually getting it. Redfin is built to make up that difference and close the gap between finding and owning the home for you. Redfin agents close twice as many deals as other agents. So when you find a home you love, you're not a step behind when it's time to make an offer. That means less watching great homes disappear and more focus on the ones you'll actually move into and call home. Redfin helps turn saved listings into real addresses. Get started at redfin.com. Own the dream.
Why'd I go to the doctor? Working on the farm, my heart kept skipping a beat. I didn't think much of it, but my daughters made me get checked out. Turns out I have atrial fibrillation, which increases the risk of stroke about 5 times.
Symptoms like irregular heartbeat, heart racing, chest pain, shortness of breath, fatigue, or lightheadedness can come and go. But if it's AFib, the risk of stroke remains. If you have symptoms, contact a doctor.
I'm so glad I did.
Visit notimetowait.com. Sponsored by Bristol-Myers Squibb and Pfizer.
The first word on what Minnesota's talking about. News Talk 830 WCCO, KMNB HD2, Minneapolis, St. Paul. Always streaming on the free Odyssey app.
This is CBS News on the Hour, your home for original reporting.
I'm Michael Toscano. With Iran rejecting a ceasefire proposal, President Trump is repeating his threat to destroy civilian infrastructure tomorrow night if they don't open the Strait of Hormuz.
So many people say, oh, well, why are you doing this way? We can't let Iran have a nuclear weapon. You know, we got regime change. We do. We're dealing with a much different regime than before. We're dealing with different people. They're smarter. I think they're sharper and far less radical.
Defense Secretary Pete Hegseth praised Trump for committing substantial resources to get the U.S. flyer shot down over Iran out from hostile territory.
When our warriors are unleashed, as this president has allowed them to be, they are unstoppable. When American airmen were down behind enemy lines, our forces and our president did not hesitate.
The Artemis II astronauts are now on their moon flyby taking pictures. Lots of pictures.
I'm Peter King at the Kennedy Space Center. The crew is expected to shoot about 10,000 photographs. Commander Reed Weissman has been looking at a crater of great interest to NASA's lunar scientists.
Coming out the southern half of Oriental, I just see they look like gorges. They're almost like rain when it comes down the Grand Canyon and fingers off into the desert is kind of what it looks like.
The Orion moonship will be out of contact for about 40 minutes. When it goes behind the moon, that happens at about 6:45 Eastern Time. Peter King, CBS News at the Kennedy Space Center.
Longtime Trump ally Steve Bannon got what he was asking of the Supreme Court.
The justices have just thrown out a lower court's ruling that upheld Steve Bannon's conviction for defying a subpoena from the House committee investigating the January 6th riots at the Capitol building. That frees a trial judge to act on the Trump administration's bid to dismiss Bannon's conviction and indictment quote, in the interests of justice. It would be a largely symbolic victory. Bannon served a 4-month prison term after his 2022 conviction for contempt of Congress. Vicki Barker, CBS News.
Seattle's commercial fishing fleet is reeling over fuel prices.
They're preparing to fish for halibut and black cod, but at Seattle's Fisherman's Terminal, Garrett Gunderson says he's looking at diesel prices and doing the math.
Now it's $20,000 to leave the dock, with fuel, bait, and ice and groceries.
He's the captain of the longline fishing vessel Sunward and says this is the latest blow to an industry trying to stay afloat, shrinking over the years.
We're one of 5 longliners left in the Deep Sea Fishermen's Union that have survived.
John Repp for CBS News, Seattle.
This is CBS News.
The stars shine brighter on CBS Morning. This is a slam dunk.
Minnesota's trusted voice every hour. Let's get you caught up with what's happening now on News Talk 830 WCCO.
Mostly sunny, 41 degrees at 5:03. I'm Laura Oakes. An arrest, charges, and tomorrow a first court appearance for the suspected driver in the deadly hit and run of a University of St. Thomas student. 22-year-old Gabriella Liebgott of St. Paul is charged with 2 counts of criminal vehicular homicide for allegedly hitting and killing 22-year-old Saham Hassan in front of her northeast Minneapolis home in late March. Court documents say Hassan was hit with such force that remnants of her clothing were torn from her body and were scattered in the street. Investigators say Liebgott had been drinking at the Uptown VFW earlier that night, and video surveillance shows her speeding away with 2 passengers in the car. Investigators tracked her car to a Washington County auto body shop where they were able to recover evidence linking her to the crime. Court records show Liebgott was driving with a suspended license and had a series of traffic violations. Governor Tim Walz announcing the Chief Justice of the Minnesota Supreme Court is retiring.
Chief Justice Natalie Hudson will officially step down September 30th. She was first appointed in 2023 and is approaching the mandatory retirement age of 70 for Minnesota judges. Former Governor Arnie Carlson telling WCCO Radio's Chad Hartman that selecting her replacement will be both important and challenging.
It's frightfully important, particularly in this day and age, for the court to have integrity and independence of its political system.
Hudson made history as the first person of color to lead the state judicial branch and is only the 3rd woman to hold the position. Governor Walz expected to release details about the selection process for her successor in the coming weeks. Susie Jones, News Talk 830 WCCO.
New video from the city of Minneapolis shedding some light on the January shooting of a Venezuelan man by an ICE agent. It shows a different story than what was originally claimed by the federal government. Twin Cities defense attorney Joe Tamburino watched it.
Originally, what was said, supposedly by the ICE agents, is that they were being beaten with a shovel or a broom for a few minutes, and that's what led to the shooting. This video doesn't show any beatings like that.
Tamburino says the 2 ICE agents involved are believed to be on leave and could face consequences for lying under oath. Children's Minnesota is resuming services in its gender health program following a recent federal court ruling that vacated the Trump administration's effort to restrict gender-affirming care. The program was temporarily paused in late February. Hospital officials say they are contacting patients and families that were affected. And this afternoon, the Minneapolis Planning Commission is discussing renaming a street to honor a police officer killed in the line of duty. Jamal Mitchell died nearly 2 years ago in what authorities say was an ambush shooting at an apartment complex on Blaisdell Avenue between Franklin and 22nd Street West. WCCO News Time is 5:06.
Time to find out how it's moving on the roads and what's moving in via the skies. This is traffic and weather together on CCO, starting with a check of the commute.
Crush working north 169 at Highway 62, left lane shut down. Things as slow as you come up from Valley View. If you're going to be traveling up on the further north, you'll find some slowing between 55 and Bass Lake Road. Southbound 94, that's slow. It's coming out from 55 to Lowry Hill Tunnel. East 94 slows into St. Paul past Dale Street. Jerry Peterson, News Talk 830 WCCO.
Raynard International Raceway presents a GSTA Rod and Custom Spectacular April 11th and 12th indoors at Canterbury Park Expo Center in Shakopee. Visit GSTA-Rod-Custom.com for more information and discount tickets. Free parking, too.
Now, the latest conditions and the outlook for the next few days with your CCO forecast.
Brought to you by the GSTA Rod and Custom Spectacular, April 11th and 12th. Here's WCCO TV Chief Meteorologist Chris Schaefer.
We'll keep the sky clear into the night, but whoo, do we chill out. Falling back to 21 by tomorrow morning. At least the wind settles down. Now, the clouds are going to increase throughout the day tomorrow. It does get breezy again with a high of 46. Rain showers will pop late tomorrow night. That will spill into Wednesday. A high of 60 Wednesday afternoon.
Mostly sunny right now, 40 degrees at News Talk 830 WCCO.
This is your brain. This is your brain on News Talk 830 WCCO. Any questions? He knows news. He knows talk. He knows nonsense, too. So get ready for a lot of each. This is Drive Time with DeRUSH, fueled by Luther Kia of Bloomington. Once again, here's Jason DeRUSH.
Oh, I hope you had a great weekend. Easter weekend, always a chance to get together with families. If you are a Christian celebrating Easter, we had some great family time this weekend. Man, the power outage of that Twins game feels so long ago, doesn't it?
Shut up and drive.
Here at CCR Radio, like when the power goes out at Target Field, it felt like there was no bigger story in the world, right? And it affected a lot of us. Like Dan had to, kind of run the studio here where normally you just have the Twins game on the air. We just didn't quite know where things going to work. So afterwards, I went home and Alyssa's like, oh, how was work? I'm like, oh, man, it was crazy. She was like, why? I said, well, they had a power outage. Like the power is out at Target Field for an hour. Like, had to come back to the station. We were doing it. She's like, why are we doing wall-to-wall coverage of power outage? Like, what's the big deal? It's like, if you cared, you were at the game, you knew the power was out. I'm like, this is like what we do. We're the radio station with the Twins games on the radio. It's like, So how was the game? Like, it was that. And I was like, I wanted to be like patted on the back. Like, oh, you had to fill the time in between all the commercials, but my wife, a normal human being, is like, it's fair. I guess it's fair. Like at a certain point, I'm not expecting. Well, maybe I am. I think maybe we deserve a Marconi for our coverage of the earth-shattering power outage,
or at least a whole slew of Odyssey bucks.
Yeah, like our boss gave us a couple of Odyssey.
He did.
I don't know.
Some other folks around here that, could pony up a little bit.
Yeah. Everyone.
I sent some to Dave Harrigan for what he had to deal with out there.
That was nice.
I would have sent some to Chad, except he never checks his email, so he wouldn't know whether I sent him or not.
I gave him some Odyssey bucks last month and have not heard a single thing about it, which means he has no idea. Yeah. We're at text. We communicate via text.
More than people know.
Yeah. Lots going on in the news today. Let's bring you up to date with the DeRUSH Hour News headline.
The headlines you might have missed without missing a beat. This is your fast pass through the biggest and most impactful stories of the day. Welcome to the DeRUSH Hour headlines, starting with the lead.
And we start with some new details that we got today about the high-risk rescue mission of that wounded airman who was shot down in Iran. We did get new information this afternoon at a news conference at the White House. Really just how dangerous, how daring, how dashing, how incredible this mission is. And I would say that for anyone with a kid that might be thinking about joining the military, this is the kind of story that tells you what's different about the American military. Not only are we not going to leave you behind, the United States have more than 150 people involved on the ground in this mission. Dangerous. They were shot at by the enemy. They used the CIA. They used, on and on and on. Every agency of government seemed to be involved in this thing.
I told you off air, this is going to be a movie in like a year. Because it just plays out that way. When you start reading the stories of what they actually did to get this guy back, and thank God that they did.
The director of the CIA
It's wild.
compared this to finding a grain of sand in the desert. They sent in more than 150 aircraft, the president said today. Both of them, the two crew members, now at the Regional Medical Center in Germany, which is usually the first spot for soldiers wounded in combat zones to be taken care of. But as the rescue unfolded on Easter Sunday, the pilot radioed a brief message to help U.S. forces identify him. God is good, is what he said. And the president feared that was a trap. But people who knew that pilot knew his faith and knew that would be what he would say. I mean, this weapon systems officer, this colonel, reportedly climbed 7,000 feet up a ridge and remained hidden there for 48 hours. And just incredible stuff. Incredible stuff. And I'd go see that movie. You'd go see that movie. I mean, just amazing. And tonight, I think, unquestionably, you have to be proud of our military and proud of the resolve of going to get that American soldier, that American airman. Pretty cool. Next, well, maybe the flip side of our federal government. The newest information, and you've heard Laura reporting about it and Susie all day. It started with the New York Times report. That video shows that non-deadly shooting of an immigrant here in Minnesota undermines the account that ICE shared.
He chose poorly.
You know this story. This is the Venezuelan immigrant who supposedly was attacking ICE agents with a shovel and a broom, a uniquely Minnesota story that turns out to be BS. Prosecutors dropped felony charges against the guy who was shot. The federal government said that the ICE agents were believed to be lying about what happened there. And in fact, those agents were suspended. And the federal government said they may be prosecuted for lying. But the video footage raises another question. And the question is, why did it take 3 weeks for the government's case to fall apart? Because a simple viewing of the video, which was recorded on a video camera that the city of Minneapolis owned, investigators had it, prosecutors had it. It appears they didn't look at it. They had accessed the video within hours of the shooting on January 4th. Prosecutors didn't watch until 3 weeks later, after they filed the charges. Just outrageous. Outrageous. And another incident of ICE in Minneapolis lying. The facts come out, guys. Like, I don't know, that approach has just been disproven time and time again. This morning, Liam Ramos, who was the center of that photo, the Columbia Heights kid, taken by ICE agents wearing that blue kind of hat on a chilly day with rabbit ears. Liam Ramos and his parents were part of a story with CBS News this morning.
Liam Conejo Ramos is in many ways just like any other 5-year-old boy.
La pizza.
You like pizza, okay? ¿Qué tipo de pizza? What type of pizza do you like?
Pepperoni.
Pepperoni. But what he doesn't yet understand is that his story is at the center of America's polarizing immigration debate.
Liam's mother told CBS News he's been showing signs of psychological trauma, just scarred by being in an ICE detention center for 2 weeks, a holding facility in Texas, released after a federal judge said this thing blamed his arrest in the government pursuit of daily deportation quotas. But the family still is at risk of potentially being detained again and ultimately deported because the asylum case was terminated. The federal court order that allowed him to be released is being appealed. So the federal government, whatever you think about the asylum case, which I have my doubts about, to be honest, this family is being targeted. And I think you know how I feel about that. City of St. Paul, looking at, man, it's a reality. A lot of you guys, and we got it. We got our truth in taxation statement for our Maple Grove home. And you know what? Never seems to go down. Spending. Spending does not seem to go down. Taxes always going up. But in St. Paul, they have some unique challenges. And so the city is taking a look at ideas to boost the tax base and stabilize the property taxes. Great story by Fred Mello in the Twin Cities Pioneer Press. You can read it at twincities.com. But we're going to do some deeper conversation about this. St. Paul in December, the city council approved a 5.3% levy hike. For the average home, that's an extra $100 in property taxes. But some of the problems they have in St. Paul is this high percentage of nonprofit properties. So government, schools, hospitals. City of St. Paul, about a fourth of the properties in St. Paul are tax exempt. So you think, is there a way that you could get those tax exempt properties to chip in and help out? Well, do a little more math. 57% of the 1/4, 57%, it's school and government properties. So schools aren't going to chip in. The city's not going to pay itself. So you're left with about 40%. And what is that? It's not going to get you hundreds of millions of dollars, and may as well work on other things, would be my view on that. In a minute. A historic day for American astronauts as they are right now about to lose contact because the far side of the moon flyby is about to happen. They've already broken a record, and a Minnesota company is part of the success of this mission. We're going to visit with one of the guys from PAR Systems in Shorewood next.
This is Drive Time with DeRUSH on News Talk 830 WCCO.
Do you have a house that you're thinking about putting on the open market right now? It's Jason. It's a common situation, right? People have been waiting during the winter, thinking like, the real time to list my house is spring, right? Oh, everybody's going to be out looking. Can't wait to put my house on the market and finally make some money. Chris Lindahl says, maybe that's the right move, but maybe you should put your arms wide out and say, you know what? Let's see how much money I can get with the least amount of work. That's what the guaranteed cash offer is all about. If you go to chrislindahl.com today and get a free smart seller guide, you could be on the path to getting that big red check. Now, the big red check is perfect if you're somebody who needs to sell a house quickly. So maybe you had a divorce, maybe you had a job change, maybe you're moving to another city. Guaranteed cash offer says you don't got to fix it up. You don't have to put any money in it. You don't have to hire a realtor to take pictures. Go to chrislindahl.com, get the big red check, and boom, you're off and you're good to go. But the guaranteed cash offer also makes sense for Minnesotans who just don't want to deal with the hassle, who don't want the people coming in the house and then backing out, going through your underwear drawer, claiming they're going to close, then saying, oh, the interest rate isn't good. chrislindahl.com. Get a big red check. Get a guaranteed cash offer. Start packing. Terms and conditions do apply. But get to chrislindahl.com today.
I'm back to doing what I love and more. Thanks to the Good Feet store.
Don't
Suffer through foot pain, sore ankles, tired legs, aching back and hips, or sore knees? Call the Good Feet store. The Good Feet Arch Support System is designed to relieve pain and stress in the body with over 350 styles and sizes. Located in Maple Grove, Burnsville, Woodbury, and Roseville. Call 855-554-3338 or stop in for your complimentary fitting. In as little as 40 minutes, you could be walking out pain-free.
Thanks to the Good Feet store.
I'm Ed Evans, CEO of Consumer Cellular. No, we're not one of the big guys. Truth is, we don't want to be. If you're over 50, Big Wireless probably has you paying for more data than you might need. You could be throwing away thousands over a lifetime.
Our entry-level data plans start at just $20 a month. And for a limited time, switch and get your second month free. Call 1-888-FREEDOM, visit consumercellular.com or a store near you and get your second month free today. Plans include $5 credit for auto pay and e-billing. See site for additional details.
There's a difference between liking a house and actually getting it. Redfin is built to make up that difference and close the gap between finding and owning the home for you. Redfin agents close twice as many deals as other agents. So when you find a home you love, you're not a step behind when it's time to make an offer. That means less watching great homes disappear and more focus on the ones you'll actually move into and call home. Redfin helps turn saved listings into real addresses. Get started at redfin.com. Own the dream. This is the story of the one. As a procurement manager for a hospital system, she keeps every facility in her network stocked and ready. That's why she counts on Grainger to be her single source for thousands of products, from disinfectants to lighting, air filters, and more. And with fast, dependable delivery, Grainger helps her keep every facility stocked, safe, and running smoothly. Call 1-800-GRAINGER, click Grainger.com, or just stop by. Grainger, for the ones who get it done.
There's a difference between liking a house and actually getting it. Redfin is built to make up that difference and close the gap between finding and owning the home for you. Redfin agents close twice as many deals as other agents. So when you find a home you love, you're not a step behind when it's time to make an offer. That means less watching great homes disappear and more focus on the ones you'll actually move into and call home. Redfin helps turn saved listings into real addresses. Get started at redfin.com. Own the dream.
Jason DeRUSH.
You are worth the price of admission every single day because I have no bleeping idea what you are capable of saying.
On News Talk 830 WCCO.
DeRUSH Hour News headlines going in depth tonight with a really major day in outer space and the Minnesota connection to the Artemis 2 mission. Today, for the first time, astronauts have gone farther than they have ever gone before as they loop around the moon. Pretty remarkable stuff. And to think about some local companies that have a piece in the action. Par Systems is in Shoreview, Minnesota. Keith Woodell is the Director of Business Development for Par. He's with us on the John Schuster Coldwell Banker Hotline. Keith, thanks for being here.
Thanks so much for having me. Really excited to talk to you.
This has got to be special for you guys, knowing that Par System played a role in, well, it's a long explanation. I'm going to have you get into it, but give me the emotional side of it, knowing that you guys are helping to facilitate what's happening here.
Par Systems is so proud to be a Minnesota company who's playing a critically important role in supporting NASA and the Artemis program. And we're excited about having our products delivered out into space and around the moon and back. And can't tell you how excited everybody in the company is about this program.
You guys do you service a lot of different manufacturing processes, a lot of different types of company, but the aerospace manufacturing part of the Par Systems business, explain what you guys are doing, because I think understanding this gets to the complexity of all of the different partners that end up going in to try to figure out how are we going to make a spacecraft and a capsule that will go farther than anything that's ever gone before.
Well, it's a team effort between Par Systems and a lot of other companies like Boeing and Lockheed Martin. But essentially, we deliver the machine tools that support the manufacturing of all the critical cryogenic fuel tanks in the Orion crew capsule. And we use technology our friction stir welding technology to be able to provide a reliable weld on the cryogenic tanks to make sure the astronauts are safe and that they trust the vehicle.
So that's the magic, right? Like, and I think our listeners have an idea as to what welding is, but traditional welding would at least be what, vulnerable to leaks or cracks or problems if it wasn't for this friction stir welding process that you guys have created?
Yeah, great. So friction stir welding is a solid state welding process. So we really don't heat the material up. We use like a typical fusion weld that melts the material.
Right.
The material remains consistent with like toothpaste when you see it and it's finished. So it makes for a very strong weld and a reliable weld, and it's been flown on a number of different missions. So.
And it's lighter too, right? And that's a big deal when you're trying to engineer this massive. I mean, it is striking when we watch the liftoff and you look at this thing and see how much of this is really just fuel. I mean, the massive fuel tanks to be able to shoot this thing out.
Yeah, for every pound of aluminum that we can save them, they can put more fuel in the tanks. So that's what they're interested in. And that allows them to go further, allows them to get to the moon and back. So critically important part of it.
Talking with Keith Waddell, PAR Systems, which is in Shoreview, Minnesota. You guys do all sorts of different industries, right? We talk about the aerospace part of it because it's sort of magical, right? When you're watching these astronauts doing something that is just unthinkable, I think. Well, I guess it was, we landed on the moon 50 some years ago, but in my generation, I've never witnessed anything quite like what we're seeing here today. But you're involved in sort of the medical field, automotive, marine, nuclear, all sorts of different stuff, right?
Yeah, Park gets into all kinds of different industries. We're heavily involved with the Department of Defense, and we've got product on most of our aircraft carriers. We get involved in life sciences, and so we're developing automation equipment to produce a lot of your instrumentation that are used in the medical field. And then we also get involved quite a bit in the Department of Energy. So we're involved with nuclear cells and the new nuclear modular reactors. So we get involved in just about everything.
You know, when we look at Minnesota and the advantage that we have as a location for businesses, or the disadvantage, right, as we're trying to grow our economy, trying to recruit new companies, what you guys are doing is really sort of, you think, all right, you have a lot of engineers on your team, right? It's a lot of real like science and mathematic experts. But being able to be on the front end of this sort of Department of Defense, sort of contractors working in the aerospace industry or in the military side of things, like there's a lot of opportunity for Minnesota here, don't you think?
Absolutely. We work closely with the University of Minnesota in St. Thomas. They're bringing us just fantastic engineers and technical folks. And we need it because 75% of our people are engineering based or technical. So we really need that to be able to communicate with our customers, and it makes for a great product.
It's pretty cool. It's cool stuff. Congratulations. I mean, how many people on your team worked on this? We're connected anyway to this mission with Artemis 2.
Oh, easily a couple hundred of our
wow.
folks have been involved in it, from program management to engineering to sales to delivery of the actual machinery, technicians on our floor. So it's a real team effort.
Did you guys have like a little watch party or something watching the liftoff the other day?
Well, believe it or not, we were lucky enough to be down on the river, and we saw the launch. We were actually at a trade show.
No way.
This past week, and so we were able to get out there. Didn't think we were going to make it, but somehow, some way, the traffic subsided, and we were able to get out there and watch it go up. It was phenomenal.
Oh, so cool. That's so cool. You know, a better interview would have led with that, Keith. But I just stumbled into it at the end. I mean, that's how this happens sometimes.
That's the way it works.
Pretty awesome. Really good. Thanks for being with us. Keith Waddell, Director of Business Development for PAR Systems, connected the spacecraft. Great company here in the Twin Cities. Thanks, Keith.
Thank you. Thanks for having me.
Dave Schwartz and Sports Talk. It is the national championship tonight for NCAA. Who's Dave got? We'll talk about it when we come back on Drive Time.
You're listening to Drive Time with DeRUSH on News Talk 830 WCCO.
Time now for today's Spotlight on Tech, sponsored by Ethos.
Meta Platforms is rolling out a batch of updates for its smart glasses, including a new line of Ray-Ban Meta glasses that will allow users to add most prescription lenses to the glasses, which start at $499. Meta Ray-Ban display glasses will get new features, including scrolling Instagram Reels, Spotify shortcuts, and the ability to record both the display and a user's point of view video at the same time. I'm Jason Brooks.
My name is Whitney Allen, and I'm a widow. My husband, Ryan, died. We never thought we'd ever have to use life insurance, but the unexpected happened. With Ethos, signing up was fast and 100% online. You can get a quote in seconds, apply in minutes, and get same-day coverage. No medical exams, and you can get up to $3 million worth of coverage. I'm grateful we were prepared.
Get your free quote at ethos.com/radio. That's ethos.com/radio. Paid spokesperson. Time spent on application may vary. Online health questions required.
Hey, let's talk about pork. Why not? I'm happy to talk about pork because, I feel like I'm 40% ham right now after Easter weekend. It's Jason here for the Minnesota Pork Board. So grateful for their support of Drive Time and their support of DeRUSH Eats. You should support these Minnesota farmers. Every corner of this state working so hard to take care of their people, take care of the planet, and take care of their pigs. Yeah, Minnesota pork is the envy of the world, not only because these great people, these great families working so hard to keep that legacy of farming alive, but also because of the dedication to the quality, the safety, and the flavor. Oh, it all comes down to flavor, right? All of this stuff, what really matters is how delicious it is. And when you go to tastewhatporkcando.com, maybe you need some ideas as to what to do with that leftover ham. Tastewhatporkcando.com can help you out there for sure. And every night, I recommend not making Minnesota pork just a part of big holidays. Make it a part of a nutritious, delicious dinner every night. TasteWhatPorkCanDo.com to get some information. But let's have Minnesota pork for dinner tonight. Oh, yeah.
Get your home into the comfort zone with Metro Heating and Cooling.
With the warm days of summer almost here, you're going to want to have an AC in your house. Call Metro Heating and Cooling. We'll be happy to help you choose the AC system that's right for your home and wallet. Get a free estimate at metroheating.com. Metro Heating and Cooling of Maplewood.
Get your home into the comfort zone with Metro Heating and Cooling.
metroheating.com.
My name is Whitney Allen, and I'm a widow. My husband, Ryan, died. We never thought we'd ever have to use life insurance, but the unexpected happened. With Ethos, signing up was fast and 100% online. You can get a quote in seconds, apply in minutes, and get same-day coverage. No medical exams, and you can get up to $3 million worth of coverage. I'm grateful we were prepared.
Get your free quote at ethos.com/term. That's ethos.com/term. Paid spokesperson. Time spent on application may vary. Online health questions required.
Wesley Financial Group is not a law firm, and Chuck McDowell definitely not an attorney. This is Chuck. If someone talked you into buying something really silly and you want to get out of that silly little thing, my advice, get the facts. Call me and I'll send you our timeshare exit kit absolutely free. Inside, you'll learn how timeshare works and all your options for cancellation.
Call Wesley now for your free exit information kit. 800-909-9696. 800-909-9696.
It seems like just yesterday when I captured my son's first steps or when we recorded his soccer games on VHS tapes. Those moments are gone. But the old home movies and pictures don't need to be. That's why my son created Legacy Box.
That's right, Mom. Over 1 million families have used Legacy Box to digitally preserve their old home movies and photos.
Simply fill Legacy Box with your old camcorder tapes, film, and photos. They will professionally digitize and send them back on DVDs, thumb drive, or the cloud.
With Mother's Day around the corner, it's the perfect time to get your Legacy Box and save your family's history. After all, few things are as important as protecting your precious memories. Give your mom a Mother's Day present she'll never forget. Take advantage of our Mother's Day sale, which starts now. It's our best deal of the year. Save up to 60% off. Visit legacybox.com/radio, and for a limited time, get an incredible 60% off your order. That's legacybox.com/radio for 60% off. legacybox.com/radio.
Time to find out how it's moving on the roads and what's moving in via the skies. This is traffic and weather together on CCO, starting with a check of the commute.
Crash off to the left side, North 35W at Franklin Avenue. Get ready for your slowdowns past 46th Street. Crosstown eastbound slows between 100 and Cedar Avenue. If you're up on Highway 36 eastbound, some minor slowdowns around Lexington. Joey Peterson, News Talk 830 WCCO.
One day only, April 18th. Don't miss the tent sale in Jordan at By the Yard. Save 20 to 50% off display sale items ready to take home today. But you better hurry. When it's gone, it's gone. By the Yard. Life is better outdoors.
Now, the latest conditions and the outlook for the next few days with your CCO forecast.
Weather brought to you by the Yard. Let's check in with Chief Meteorologist Chris Schaefer.
High pressure is moving in. That'll keep the sky clear tonight, but we're going to chill out, falling back to 21 by tomorrow morning. Wind will be light. That will pick up throughout the day tomorrow, and the clouds will increase as well. Should have a high of 46 tomorrow. Still below average. Rain showers pop late tomorrow night. That spills into a warm Wednesday with a high of near 60.
Right now in downtown St. Paul, it is 39 degrees on CCO.
Jason DeRUSH.
I have never really been a fan of his, but the truth of the matter is the guy really does care. My opinion has completely changed about the guy.
On News Talk 830 WCCO. Now let's get a Monday rundown on the weekend in sports, where Dave brings the analysis and Jason brings the snacks.
Get your popcorn ready.
Time for some fun talking ball and other stuff with Dave Schwartz on Drive Time with DeRUSH.
Sports time, Dave. How are you?
I'm good, Jason. How are you?
I'm outstanding.
Outstanding.
Why not? Why not? I survived the Twins home opener. You know, the power outage. It was fine. Like a little excitement. You work for the Minnesota Wild. How would you react? You know, playoff game 1 at Grand Casino, and the power goes out.
We'd probably say some things that I can't say on the radio right now. But I don't know. You know, I've been at a practice where the lights went out, and I think it happened during one of the high school games this year, but it was really quick and it turned right back on. So, you know, we have great people over at Grand Casino Arena that take care of this stuff right away.
Sure.
So we're very lucky.
Yeah. Although if XL cuts, you know, a piece of equipment, you're sort of there's not much you can do. It worked out fine.
We hope that doesn't happen. And hey, at least at least it was the daylight. You know, at least
yes. Good point. That is a good point. It was nice.
Yeah.
All right, we're going to talk about a Wild playoff tickets on sale today, and also the fact that the Wild have been playing very, very well. Which honestly, I'm a little surprised. Well, let's just talk about it. I have been very impressed in games that don't need to be meaningful games for the Minnesota Wild, that they are still going all out, and especially an impressive performance against a super desperate Detroit team on Easter Sunday. The Wild had that big lead. They were up, 4-1?
Yeah, I mean, they're up 4-1. You win it in dramatic fashion, which is great. And Kirill Kaprizov gets his hat trick. You don't love the fact that they squandered a
I don't know.
lead,
Detroit needed that, though. Detroit needed that game.
They had to have it.
Yeah. I'm a little more forgiving of giving up that lead when you're playing against a super desperate opponent.
Yes. And I'll say this, too, that I don't know that, you know, the idea that the Wild don't necessarily need it. Home ice advantage is important when it comes to the playoffs, and that's what they're playing for at this point. They're going to play the Dallas Stars, and it's going to be an outstanding series. You have the opportunity to start your first 2 games here instead of starting your first 2 games on the road. So there is still a lot to be played for, and they're going to face off, I believe it's Thursday night, and it should be an awesome game because both teams are, I mean, you want to talk about desperate and then setting the tone because they're going to see each other again in about a week and a half. This game really sets up the title now.
We're expecting what, like maybe the 16th. That would be the Thursday if that's when things get started. So it comes.
I believe the postseason starts. I think it's Friday or Saturday is the first actual game.
So 17th or 18th if it goes right there. Yeah, it comes at you kind of fast. I know the NHL playoffs take forever, but it starts almost right away at the end of the season, right?
Well, it does because it's such a. I mean, I've heard this before, and I agree with it. The Stanley Cup truly is the hardest trophy to win in sports because you could potentially play a 7-game series all the way up. It's not like other leagues where it's a 5-game series. And it's 7 games the whole way. And truly what it comes down to is, do you have the health and do you have the depth to make a run? That's often why we see teams, Florida's won it a couple times now, but when they won it that first time, they kind of came out of nowhere, but they happen to have the most depth and be the most healthy at the right time. And so there's a lot of that when it comes to the NHL postseason.
Tonight is the NCAA men's basketball championship. UConn, Michigan. I don't know that most people had that as the final two. Not that it's a big shocker that those two teams ended up there.
It's been fun to watch. I mean, this tournament has had its share of upsets, but through it all, the constant over the course of the last few weeks has been Michigan's dominance. I mean, they're beating teams by, I think it's like 21 points on average. And they just dismantled, it was Arizona the other night. And it was not even close. It was good. The score, as lopsided it was, the game still wasn't that close. They just controlled the whole thing. They controlled the paint. They controlled the outside. And, if they can keep the tempo of this game fast, Michigan's going to run away with it. UConn's going to try to slow them down if they can, but good luck. No one's been able to do that. So it should still be a good game. But if I was putting my money on something, and I'm not, but I would, I'd put it on Michigan.
Michigan is the first team to score 90-plus points in 5 straight tournament games. I do feel like if you can run up the score on when you have the stress and you have the sort of the butterflies, if you can get rocking, that is usually what we see. It's not usually like a defensive magical performance here. It ends up being like, are the shots falling?
Yeah, I mean, it's going to be fast, right? They're going to be flying on adrenaline. And what amazed me the most, though, is that I think I read somewhere that it's been like 29 years since a Big Ten team has won the national championship. And I mean, you think about how many great teams. Yes, it's always Duke, it's North Carolina, it's UCLA, but I'm surprised that it's been 29 years since we've had a Big Ten champion.
That's crazy.
Win the NCAA tournament.
Yeah. Well, UConn would be the first program since John Wooden's UCLA teams to win 3 championships over 4 seasons. Pretty crazy. Yeah. I mean, just this. I think this is a pretty good matchup. And I still, as a Marquette alum, I'm wearing my Marquette T-shirt today because we beat UConn this year. So,
hang your hat on that,
We
Marquette.
got that. UConn lost 5 games all season. Marquette lost more games than they won. But, I was there to see Danny Hurley get kicked out of a game, which was fun to see.
But there's the slogan, hey, we beat the champs.
Yes.
If they win.
Great. That is a common
rallying cry.
It's a great loser's refrain, isn't it?
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, it is.
It's good. You can't get any better than that. We lost to the eventual champs. Doesn't matter when, or we beat the eventual champs. That's the way.
Yeah, beating the eventual champs is the best. Losing to the eventual champs is the second best. And that's sort of what happened to the Gophers, right? UCLA just absolutely destroying South Carolina in the NCAA women's basketball game, which kind of messed up the big talker over the weekend was the 2 coaches, the Dawn Staley, Gino Auriemma the lack of the handshake or whatever. This stuff always I just think it's such a joke.
Well, it's one of those things that I always wondered about, because in both college and professional, like, there's a 10-minute cooling off period, but the coaches don't get that. Like, they have to go right out there right after, and you have to look that coach eye. And we've seen it so many times, like in college football during the handshake, the coach will blow off the other coach. It's like, maybe just give these coaches a little bit of time, because you could even argue that the coaches have more riding on each game than the players. They have contract bonuses and their jobs in the level. So when they lose a big game like this, there's a lot of emotion. And I thought a lot about that the other day. You don't give these coaches any time to just like process it for a second before they have to go in there. And then you get kind of these blow ups. And I'm not saying it's right. And Gino Auriemma apologized because he's a class act, but at the same time, it's like,
he's a class act after he got his absolute butt handed to him for a day.
But he apologized.
I mean, he still was defending it, though, in news conference. He was defending it all. He had plenty of opportunity to back down, and he didn't.
Well, maybe Gino needs an hour cooling off.
I think Gino's like, the hard thing is, you're like, Gino is a legend, but like,
he is.
He's also 72 years old. Like, and this is the kind of stuff that can ruin your entire legacy and your reputation. You're screaming. You're screaming at this young black woman coach. You don't think so? It just looks like a scene right out of like the 1950s or something.
If Bobby Knight can coach as long as he did with everything he did,
maybe could he get away with it today in the social media era? I don't know.
I think he'd be. Should he get away with it? No. Would he? I think he'd become I could see him becoming a TikTok star.
Yeah, maybe.
With all of his.
You're maybe right.
You
may be right.
Yep.
Dave Schwartz, stand by. We'll break. We'll talk Wolves. We'll get you ready for the Twins game right here on CCO. You'll hear it right here. Stick around on Drive Time with DeRUSH.
Drive Time with DeRUSH is fueled by Luther Kia of Bloomington. Go see Dan Dingman and the crew today, or always online at lutherkiaofbloomington.com.
I did see Dan Dingman today when I was over at Luther Kia. It's Jason here with a little advice for the guy looking to dress a little bit better. My advice is this: you need help. Once you acknowledge that you need help, then the real magic happens, and that can happen for you at J.H. & Sons at the Galleria in Edina. I go to J.H. & Sons to get advice from Kevin and Bryce and Chuck and the whole team over there because they know fashion, they know Minnesota. They have premium men's clothing, unbelievable. Kevin was telling me the other day about a CCO listener who went to J.H. & Sons, looked at, tried on a bunch of stuff and was like, I don't know. Tried on a pair of pants and was like, oh my goodness. Like, I've never felt fabric this nice. Yeah. All different price points. They'll take care of you. The quality is through the roof, but the people in the service, that'll keep you coming back time and time again. They're right at the Galleria in Edina. Easy parking, easy to get to. Great shopping environment. They got the big flower show going on later this week. So get to the Galleria. Make sure you say hi to my friends at J.H. & Sons.
Want a great way to boost your brand? Custom labels at Staples will help packages pop, shipments stand out, and takeout boxes really take off. Shop now through April 18th and save 30% on all custom labels. Staples. That was easy.
I'm back to doing what I love and more. Thanks to the Good Feet store.
Don't suffer through foot pain, sore ankles, tired legs, aching back and hips, or sore knees. Call the Good Feet store. The Good Feet Arch support system is designed to relieve pain and stress in the body with over 350 styles and sizes. Located in Maple Grove, Burnsville, Woodbury, and Roseville. Call 855-554-3338 or stop in for your complimentary fitting. In as little as 40 minutes, you could be walking out pain-free.
Thanks to the Good Feet store.
Springfest is happening now at Lowe's. Keep the spotlight on your yard with Stay Green Premium 2 cubic foot mulch, 5 bags for $10. Plus, when you want more help indoors, get up to 40% off select major appliances that help you supercharge your chores. Our best lineup is here at Lowe's. Valid to 4/22 while supplies last. Selection varies by location. See Lowe's.com for details. Mulch offer excludes Alaska and Hawaii.
It is not hard to destroy a college. Last season, the podcast Campus Files brought you stories of fraternity drug rings, stolen body parts, campus cults, and more.
And now Campus Files is back for another season.
There's a guy screaming into his phone. He's like, I just saw Charlie Kirk get assassinated right in front of me.
Every week is a new episode and a new story.
It was so chaotic.
It's almost like a university on a siege. Listen to and follow Campus Files, available now wherever you get your podcasts.
Flint Hills Resources Pine Bend Refinery in Rosemont produces important transportation fuels used throughout the Midwest, but they're also active in the community. They support many programs and organizations that make Minnesota better. Go to FHR.com.
Time to find out how it's moving on the roads and what's moving in via the skies. This is traffic and weather together on CCO, starting with a check of the commute.
And brought to you by Flint Hills Resources. South 35W as you head toward Lake Street. Getting word of a crash off to the right side. Traffic a little bit slow out of downtown. Crash we had northbound 35W at Franklin Avenue. That's been taken care of. West 94 slows through Minneapolis and move past 11th Avenue into the Lowry Hill Tunnel. Update brought to you by Flint Hills Resources. Jerry Peterson, News Talk 830 WCCO.
Get your home into the comfort zone with Metro Heating and Cooling.
Call Metro Heating and Cooling for a $109 air conditioner tune-up. Find out more at metroheating.com.
Now, the latest conditions and the outlook for the next few days with your CCO forecast.
CCO forecast brought to you by Metro Heating and Cooling. Tonight, we've got cooling. You're going to need the heater, that's for sure. Mainly clear, low of 21. Tomorrow, cloudy day, high of 46. Late at night, rain showers. So hopefully we'll be fine for the Twins game tomorrow. And then Wednesday looks wet, high of 60. More showers on Thursday and Saturday and Sunday. So build the arc. It's 37 on CCO.
Steering you through what matters. Drive time with DeRUSH. Tuned up and rolling thanks to Luther Kia of Bloomington.
Dave Schwartz with us for his Monday visit. We appreciate Dave spending some time with us. Byron Buxton hit 10 years of service, which has become sort of a big deal. Didn't used to be a big deal, but 10 years, I don't know. I think I was hearing an explanation of this before, right? Because like, when did this become such a big deal? But the steroid era was perhaps artificially extending people's careers a bit. And today you don't see too many guys get to 10 years. The teams are also more, they're a little more trigger happy to get rid of a guy. It doesn't matter that you've been with the team long enough. They're just like, you're out. So Byron getting to 10 years, it was interesting to see like how emotional that was. And it was a big deal.
Well, you rarely get 10 years with the same team.
Yeah,
too.
that's a great point. Yeah.
You don't get that often. And Byron Buxton, to his credit, he has not been the healthiest of players. And it's been a long road, but Byron Buxton, by all accounts, chooses to stay here and wants to play in Minnesota and wants to be a part of this franchise. When, in actuality, even with the amount that he's been hurt and he's gotten healthy over the past few years, certainly he could get dealt to somewhere else. I'm sure the problem finding wants to be here, and so good for him. And I'm not surprised he's emotional because there was a time early in his career where 10 years seemed like it was never going to happen with how much he was getting hurt. So good for him. Good for him staying here for 10 years. And I wish his 10th year was going to be a little bit happier, but I don't get the feeling this year, at least the way it started, has been super great for the Twins.
Would you have been happier with the engraved Rolex that he got from Tom Pohlad or the bottle of Ace of Spades champagne?
Oh, the Rolex, no doubt. I'm a watch guy. You know I'm a watch guy.
Yeah.
And you and I talk about it all the time. I would someday in my life, I want to own a Rolex. So I'm really hoping that maybe one of my kids becomes a millionaire and will buy me one. 'Cause I'm not going to get it from a sports store. Maybe I will. I don't know. We'll see.
You never know. Maybe when you get 10 years with the Minnesota Wild, do they give you a Rolex? I don't think so.
Not in my position.
No, maybe not. Maybe not. Well, you can go to Continental Diamond where they have a great selection of pre-owned Rolex.
Well, I'd love to.
Yeah.
Just take me over. Let's go.
I tried on a $25,000 watch the other day.
Yeah.
Which they promptly took away from me.
Oh, so you didn't even get to wear it out of the store.
No.
I sent you a message. I'm
You
like,
did.
that's beautiful.
Yes.
And you said, yeah.
Yeah, it is beautiful. They bring us the time check. It's 5:57. I don't know. I think I'm good. You got anything else? I have one other thing I wanted to talk to you about, and I forgot what it was.
Was it the Timberwolves, or are we out of time?
Well, I did kind of laugh that they made this big announcement about KG coming back to the team, and he's not coming back until the last game of the season. What? It's sort of ridiculous, right?
Well,
I don't know.
That never works out the way you want it to, but that's the way it goes.
Indeed. Thanks, Dave. We'll see you next week.
Bye, buddy.
Twins baseball coming your way next on the home of the Twins. We'll visit with you tomorrow. Have a great night.
Chad back here with you. I want to talk about trust